shall we? Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Andrew Kirchhoff, and welcome to our Sunday morning live stream for week 13 of the 2022 fantasy football season. Over the course of the next 2 hours plus, we're going to be answering all of your questions in regards to matchups, in regards to setting your lineups in a proper fashion in order to potentially not only win your week 13 matchups, but hopefully build some momentum, make your playoffs, win a championship. That's the entire goal. Again, if you guys have not yet already, be sure to click the like button down below. Certainly does help out a lot. As you can see to the right side of the screen, we have updated rankings as of this morning. My top 36 running backs and wide receivers, along with my top 16 quarterbacks and tight ends. Again, as of literally maybe 10 minutes ago, made sure up to date, good to go. A couple things I want to point out on the screen. Actually, you know what I need to also do? I need to add these rankings into the description of the video. So for those of you who are on mobile, there's no issue if you guys are watching, away from home. So I'll add that in a second. But in terms of a couple points of transparency, I am fully expecting that Joe Mixon misses this week, based on the fact that he has not cleared concussion protocol yet. Leads me to believe that he's not going to clear concussion protocol. And that Samaje Perine will be the starting running back of this team, based on the fact that we have seen Samaje Perine play extremely well each of the last 2 weeks that he has participated as the primary back of this team, not only as a receiver, but as a running back. He's been fantastic. I have him as my number 11 ranked running back going into the remainder of this week. In regards to remaining running backs, again, any player who played on Thursday or on potentially bye week is not on screen and not on the available players on screen, because why would I mention someone who has already played, right? We're good to go there. Let me go ahead and add these rankings to the description just in case someone, let's see, week 13 rankings, who is on mobile can just check that out. Boom, save that. Good. All right, awesome. All right, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's get into answering some questions. Max Maximus in the chat was saying, "Where is Rodgers?" with a really, really upset face. I have moved Rodgers a little bit down. When I say a little bit, I mean quite literally. Aaron Rodgers is my number 18 overall quarterback. So he's a little bit outside of the top 16. I've made some interesting decisions today in regards to what I'm going to do with Deshaun Watson and or Mike White. So in relation to those two guys moving up a significant margin, I've moved Aaron Rodgers a little bit down the list either way. As for Mixon, now there is a chance that he could be cleared from concussion protocol within the next, hour. And then at that point, we will update the rankings on screen. There's another player that is currently on screen. Actually, two players that I currently have tagged with a questionable, a Q inside of two brackets. One of them being Najee Harris. I have him currently at number 20. Again, if he was an automatic, no questions asked, full participant in Friday's practice, I would have probably ranked him within the top 15 easily. Considering we're not in that scenario, I am going to continue to monitor the situation as we progress throughout today's live stream. If in fact he does not play, we will swap him around with a alternative ranking, moving Jaylen Warren up a little bit to fill his stead and moving forward. Outside of that, we also have Deebo Samuel hit with a questionable tag on the number 30 overall wide receiver rank. Again, he is a quote-unquote true game-time decision. Like I was telling you guys yesterday, there's a reason why we had Deebo Samuel as the thumbnail. Kyle Shanahan, during an interview this week, did say that Deebo Samuel's progression in terms of the thigh injury and the quad injury has not gotten better as they expected it to. So it's definitely been bugging him the entire week. There's a reason why he missed practice and, of course, was limited in some of those, overall practices that he did participate in. So we'll keep that monitored. But as of right now, I think that's a pretty safe spot for him. We'll keep an eye on that as we continue. Okay, let's get into answering some questions, shall we, for week 13. Don't forget the rankings that are on screen are for a half PPR scoring format, meeting everyone in the middle, whether you do play in a full PPR and or a standard scoring format. Also, if you guys decide to ask a question, whether it's in the live chat and or via super chat, please be sure to include your scoring format. Would greatly appreciate that, just so we're all on the same page. Okay. JK in the live chat was saying ETN is also questionable. He's questionable, but I think I define questionable a little bit more different. If they get in so if they get in a full practice by Friday, I don't consider them questionable anymore. On top of that, If their head coach specifically comes out and says that he's playing, then I don't really consider them questionable. And in ETN's current circumstance, that is pretty much the scenario that is revolved around him. That's why I didn't really need to mention it in my mind. We'll also be mentioning defensive rankings and kicker rankings in probably like 20 minutes from now. And we'll do that over the course of today's episode just so we're all on the same page. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate it. And let's get into answering questions. Beginning with our first super chat that was sent in from Ozzy Reyna. It says, standard scoring format, Andrew, Pittman, Pacheco, or Zonovan Knight. Of the three options that you have available, I'm going to go ahead and play Isaiah Pacheco this week here. I like Pittman as the second best option. There's Zonovan Knight, like we've seen in multiple reports already this week. It is going to be a running back by committee situation there with the involvement of Zonovan Knight, Ty Johnson, and James Robinson. So that's going to be a three-headed monster. Obviously, the two names that I first and foremost mentioned are going to be dominating the bulk of the carries, touches, etc. But even in that overall situation, I'm still far more comfortable rolling out with Pacheco, considering the standard scoring format. Thank you. Michael Barton says, start Jacobs. How far in advance would we know that he's potentially playing? Okay, so I do expect Josh Jacobs to play. Based on the report that I saw from Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network, the report pretty much stated that there's optimism that he's going to play. He's obviously going to warm up before the game, so we would probably know at a for sure designation 1 hour before the game starts. If in fact he doesn't end up playing and you don't have a running back that is currently ranked in the vicinity that is on screen, I would say that Zamir White could easily be a top 24 option in the absence of a Josh Jacobs. So I'll potentially lean in the direction, again, if you don't have Zamir White already on roster because he's pretty much his number one handcuff in that situation, you probably want to address that at the moment. But for right now, I'm not too worried about Josh Jacobs playing. I think he's absolutely going to be active today. Thank you, Michael. Appreciate it. All right, let's see here. Go Punch Live sends in a question. Thank you very much. Says PPR must win. Okay. Again, I assume that every week is a must win. So you don't got to tell me. I know how important a victory is every week, whether it's week 1 or week 13. So I'm on the same page as you. Don't worry about it. All right, PPR must win. Fields or Prescott, I will take Justin Fields there. I've moved him down in my mind just a slight bit, just in case there is, effect of an absent Darnell Mooney and or that shoulder injury that could affect him. But I am very confident in Justin Fields today. Full participation in practice Thursday and Friday. He's going to run for majority of the game. And when he does, that's really all we need him to do. Anything he does in the passing game is just a bonus. His rushing statistics, whether it's touchdowns, yards, that in itself makes him a far more valuable prospect going into the week in my mind. As for your follow-up question, says also, I have Christian McCaffrey in my flex. Should I switch for Ayuk, Tyrion Davis, Price, Jeff Wilson Jr.? No, I'd keep absolutely Christian McCaffrey there. He practiced fully on Friday. The report was that even though, yes, he did, sustain a knee injury of sorts, it's not going to be something that, is going to bother him for future weeks. He should be fine. Thank you. All right, appreciate that. Go Punch. Ozzy sent in a follow-up question. Thank you very much, Ozzy. It says standard scoring format. Foster Moreau or Gerald Everett. Yeah, I'm going to go Gerald Everett. No, excuse me. Goodness gracious. I'm going to go Foster Moreau in every single scoring format ahead of Gerald Everett this week. Whether it's standard, half PPR, full PPR. So in your case, if it's standard scoring format, Ozzy, again, considering Foster Moreau has been such a touchdown upside player within said offense, we're absolutely firing him up in the matchup against the Chargers, who have definitely struggled against opposing tight ends over the course of the season already. Thank you. Shine 101 sends in a super chat. Thank you. Says, should I drop Deontay Foreman on his bye week to get P. Ryan since Mixon isn't playing? Yeah, if this is one of those quote-unquote must-win weeks and you have to pick apart your team in order to acquire talent as such, just to have a roster to win this week, then yes, at that point you would have to, right? But I don't know what the rest of your team looks like in that case. So if this is a situation where you have to win, and in order to stay alive within the playoff conversation in your league, then yes, you would make that drop because you have to. If it's not that situation, then you pivot elsewhere, and you just kind of find something else to fill into the spot. Appreciate it, Aishan. And then your follow-up question was, I need upside, Foster Moreau or Taysom Hill? Yeah, I'll take Foster Moreau there. Even with Juwan Johnson out, I think the main benefactor of Juwan Johnson's absence as a receiving option in the New Orleans Saints offense is primarily going to be either a guy like Adam Trotman, their backup tight end, as a receiving option there, and or a guy like potentially Alvin Kamara, because we know that Juwan Johnson's continue to see a lot of targets. Even last week's performance in the game in which they were shut out against the 49ers, Juwan Johnson dropped a touchdown, right? So like he was given the opportunity down there. He just wasn't able to fully encompass the full value there by bringing it down. But for right now, yeah, we'll take Foster Moreau there. Thank you very much. Amir Rivera, thank you very much. Says, good morning, Andrew. Pierce or Pittman this week in a PPR? I'll take Michael Pittman Jr. in a full PPR scoring format. As much as I like Dameon Pierce's overall matchup, his last 2 weeks of performances it really does scare me, purely. So with the fear that is already instilled in my soul in regards to what that, is, I'm looking in the direction of just rather playing the guy that is going to get himself a pretty high volume of targets. And even if he doesn't score a touchdown, will be a pretty good option there. Hoodie Allen in the chat was saying, is Mixon confirmed out, chat? He is not confirmed out, but from the report that I saw earlier this morning, they're trending towards him not being able to clear concussion protocol. If he hadn't done it by now already, it's a very low likelihood that he gets cleared before the game. So I'm working under the assumption that he is not active. Moving on. We had Heavy CMC sends in a question, says, I know you're busy, brother. I left a starter sit question on Patreon. Talk it out through here. I mean, again, Heavy, you have my rankings. Like, you have the Patreon rankings. So whatever is there that you need answered, I'm sure can be answered with the rankings themselves. I'll go ahead and I'll give it a peek right now, but let's see here. Where are you at, my man? Okay, so what are we doing here? What's the question exactly? So you have Allen, you have Chubb, Pacheco, Garrett Wilson, Gabe Davis, Conklin, Pickens. Okay, so what are your primary questions here? Yeah, I don't know what are there any starter set adjustments to this lineup? I mean, who did you start already? Did you start Gabe Davis? Did you start, some of these other players that already played on Thursday? If you already did, then I think you're fine as long as you roll with the rankings that I have that's posted on Patreon, just on the main screen. Because really at running back, you have to play Chubb, you have to play Pacheco. Garrett Wilson's fine. I don't know if you played Gabe Davis or not. And then at that point, you'd be filling in, if you didn't play Gabe Davis, George Pickens, Treylon Burks, etc. As for the other squad that you have here, who else do you have? Okay, that's fine. I would play Rachaad White over Cordero Patterson for the second team that we're talking about. I'd leave Brady in that conversation, and the rest is good to go there, my man. Thank you, appreciate it. All right, Hutch 21103 sends in a super chat. Thank you very much. Says, greetings, Andrew. I'm once again asking the age-old question: should I rock ETN or Waddle in the flex half PPR? All right, let me look at my half PPR rankings, and I'll give you the full indication as to what I would do. So as a current half PPR ranking, I have Jalen Waddle at 18 overall in my flex, and I have ETN at 20. So I'll take Waddle this week against the 49ers defense. Appreciate it. Moving on, we had Christopher sends in a question. Thank you very much. Says, Pierce or Pickens this week in the flex spot? Assuming mainly because you didn't, I'm going to go with Dameon Pierce. I'll comfortably play him considering the alternative option in that point. I'm actually curious, where do I have Pierce in a half PPR in my flex rankings? That's not it. Control F. I have Dameon Pierce. Where art thou? 48. And then I have George Pickens. Where the heck are you, George Pickens? George Pickens, 53. So they're close. They're 5 spots away from one another. But at the moment, yeah, we're going to continue to play with Dameon Pierce in that regard, half PPR under the assumption. Full PPR, we'll probably go with Pickens. Standard, we'll go with Pierce as well. Thank you. Brandon sends in a question. Thank you very much. Says, full PPR, sitting Michael Pittman versus Dallas, ? Should I go with Gus, Zonovan, or Kieran Williams over Pittman? In a full PPR scoring format, I probably I'd probably say the only option that I would even consider playing instead of Pittman would be Gus Edwards this week, but I don't think you have to at this point. So what did you say at the second half? I have Christian McCaffrey, Pierce as my RBs, and Pickens, Watson as my wide receivers. So yeah, at this point, I'd feel pretty comfortable playing Pittman over Pickens this week, and I'd honestly feel pretty comfortable playing Gus Edwards over Dameon Pierce this week, but do that as you will. It's totally up to you at the end of the day, but yeah, I'm perfectly fine playing Michael Pittman as a flex option this week in a full PPR there. Thank you, Brandon. Lucky Slevin sends in a question, says, full PPR, am I starting Fields? Yes, you are. Anybody who has Fields and you don't have any of the following that is on screen, whether it is Herbert, Mahomes, Burrow, Hurts, you're playing Fields this week. Or you should be looking to play Fields. I mean, again, it's an automatic play. Again, for those of you who are just joining us this morning, welcome, good morning to our Week 13 live stream. Of course, setting up your lineups. The rankings that are on screen are as of right now up to date. Of course, we will be keeping an eye on a couple of the questionable members of the fantasy, football prospect community, whether it is, a Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris, etc., Deebo Samuel. But as of right now, everything on screen is up to date. So if you have interpositional questions, which quarterback to start, which tight end to start, everything is on screen. Like Michael Price was asking, do you think Josh Jacobs plays today? Yes, I do absolutely believe that he's going to play today. If he doesn't, Zamir might be the guy that you want to pick up and play in his stead. I think Zamir White could very easily be a top 24 back, mainly because of that matchup against the Los Angeles Chargers run-stop defense. Thank you. Alrighty. So as for your question, first and foremost, am I playing Fields? Lucky Slevin, yes, you should play Fields. Also have Carr and Brady. Yeah, I'd much rather play Fields over Carr and Brady in a 4-point per passing touchdown format. Follow-up question you have Jeff Wilson Jr. as your flex. Should you swap him out for Christian Kirk? Yes, I would swap that out for Christian Kirk immediately. Again, you got to remember that San Francisco 49ers run-stopping defense is one of the best in the National Football League as of right now. On top of the fact, the starting left tackle of the Dolphins is going to be missing, and I think one of their guards is also out this week. So it's going to be a little bit tough on that offensive line to be able to open some holes for Jeff Wilson Jr. to make an immediate impact on a downly basis there. So I would play Christian Kirk there in a full PPR. Thank you. Logan sends in a question. Thank you very much, Logan. I appreciate that. It says, pick 2, PPR, Cordero Patterson, Jeff Wilson Jr., or Treylon Burks. At that point, between the following 3 options that you've specifically mentioned, I want to play Treylon Burks first and foremost. I mean, again, he's getting himself a pretty good target share. He's not going to get himself, 20 targets in a singular game. He's not at that level yet, but in the volume of targets that he's getting, the average depth of target is enough to where it is, it's sustainable. Outside of that, I'll take Cordero Patterson over Jeff Wilson Jr. Thank you. So yeah, it's Burks and CPAT. Thank you. Tron Cena 777. Thank you very much. That's full PPR. I need a flex. Christian Watson, Dameon Pierce this week. I will play Christian Watson. Again, like I mentioned in probably like 12 times yesterday during the live stream that we did on Saturday afternoon. Any opportunity I have to play Christian Watson, I'm going to play him this week. Obviously, in conjunction with the rankings that I have on screen with the available wide receivers. But anytime we're in a situation where Christian Watson's available, I'm going to play him until he stops scoring touchdowns and he stops scoring a consistent amount of fantasy points. So we're good to go there with Christian Watson. Sal sends in a question, says, what's more likely, Dameon Pierce resurgence or Jamal Williams touchdown? Seems to be more... Wait, what is this? Or another Jamal Williams touchdown. What's more likely? The Jamal Williams touchdown. Without a doubt. There's a reason why Jamal Williams leads the National Football League in terms of running back rushing touchdowns, right? I don't think anybody has more rushing touchdowns at the running back position than him. I can confirm this right now. Yeah, he has 13. Nick Chubb has 12. Derrick Henry has 10. So he has scored 13 rushing touchdowns in the 11 games he has played. So what's more likely? It's absolutely the Jamal Williams rushing touchdown, and that's what I would suggest playing if you're trying to figure out which of the two to go with this week. Thank you. In about 4 minutes from now, I see many of you in the live chat mentioning it. I will mention our defense and kicker rankings. So in about 4 minutes, 8:20 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I'll take care of that. Thank you. Ranjit sends in a question. Thank you very much. Says, full PPR, Michael Pittman Jr. or Cole Kmet? I'll take Michael Pittman Jr. Thank you. Brandon sends in a question. Says, thoughts on Fields' injury and playing him over Watson. Yeah, here's my primary thought on Fields' injury. From what they've released in terms of public information regarding the injury, it seems like, based on the medical experts that I listen to in the fantasy community, that it's a pain management situation. And if he's going to be playing, then primarily he's going to be dealing with the pain. They're going to shoot him up with probably a painkiller or two, just like all, NFL quarterbacks or, players do that are in these kind of situations. And quite frankly, he'll be fine. We just saw just last week, Jalen Hurts run for 157 rushing yards on this defense. Just imagine what the most, successful rushing quarterback this season already over the course of the last 2 months here is going to be able to do against that defense. I'm expecting a lot of success from Fields on the ground. Watson is going to have an acclimation period. He can still score touchdowns, but it's not going to be at a higher fantasy potential rate than a guy like Fields getting all those yardage on the ground with his legs. Thank you. Jayon sends in a question, says, half PPR, one running back, one flex is required. Okay. So my following options are Kamara, Patterson, White, Warren, Pickens, Slayton. Okay. So in a half PPR of the available options, okay, assuming that we are in a situation where Najee Harris is playing this week, as kind of figured out on screen. Again, we'll have to keep that monitored as we progress, but assuming he's playing and Jaylen Warren is going to still be the backup in this given week, I would at that point play, let's see here. What was your question again? Patterson, White, Warren. Okay, so Rachaad White would be number one as your RB, and then your flex at that point would be Kamara. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. We're moving on. Let's see here. Andonian, thank you very much. Appreciate it. I don't want to butcher your first name, my man. But at this point, we'll just roll with the last name. Pacheco or Kamara in a full PPR? In a full PPR scoring format, this is one of probably the toughest questions, I would say. At this point, I'm probably just more comfortable rolling with Alvin Kamara. I think in a full PPR scoring format, last week he fumbled twice. That's -4 off his baseline. He would have easily surpassed 10 fantasy points in that overall matchup. I think it's tough to not start him at this point against Tampa Bay on Monday night. Jordy says those are some good neck cracks, Andrew. Yeah, I've been addicted to cracking my neck for quite some time now. So yeah. Okay, so let's just do this now, shall we? In a minute from now, we're going to we're going to mention kicker and defensive rankings at a top 10 capacity for both of those. For those of you who are just joining us this morning, welcome. We have updated rankings on screen. If you guys are on mobile and not in front of a computer and can't see the rankings on screen, they're also included in the description of the video. If you guys have not yet already, do me a solid, click that like button down below. It certainly does help continue to grow the channel and allow me to bring you guys, Sunday morning rankings at this capacity. Also, if you guys haven't checked out PrizePicks and want to play daily fantasy outside of your own, home leagues, you can go ahead and check that out today. There's a link down in the description. When you sign up using promo code Andrew, you'll get a first-time deposit immediately doubled up to $100. So for those of you who are interested, check that out today. Link is in the description. Thank you. What is this? This is okay, that's not a report. Okay, let's talk about defenses and kicker rankings, shall we? Team defenses going into week 13. Our number 1 is the Baltimore Ravens. Number 2, Dallas Cowboys. Number 3, Seattle Seahawks. Number 4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 5, Cleveland Browns. Number 6, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 7, New York Jets. Number 8, San Francisco 49ers. Number 9, we have the Washington Commanders. Number 10, we have the Minnesota Vikings. And then that's number 10. Okay, perfect. Done. Moving on to top 10 kickers. Number 1, Justin Tucker. Number 2, Jason Myers. Number 3, Daniel Carlson. Number 4, Harrison Butker. Number 5, Brett Maher. Number 6, Evan McPherson. Number 7, Ryan Suckup. Number 8, Cameron Dicker. Number 9, Robbie Gould. And number 10, Graham Gano. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right. Moving on. After Antonio's question, we had Telugu sends in a question. Says, Rachaad White, Pickens, Sutton, Kieran Williams, half PPR flex. I would play Rachaad White this week. Thank you very much, Telugu. Cinco 2X says full PPR, start wide receiver. Okay, so we need to start a wide receiver. Debo, Pickens, Palmer, Peoples-Jones. Okay, of the group, I'm probably playing Josh Palmer there. Yeah, I think it's tough. Because it's a full PPR scoring format, I lean slightly in the direction of Palmer. I think he'll get a greater variety of targets which will lead to more receptions, which gives him a little bit of an edge over Pickens in that regard. If it was a half PPR, I'd go with Pickens. So for right now, in a full, I'll take Josh Palmer. As to the follow-up question here, out of all the remaining players, also out of them players with Brian Robinson for the other flex. So got it. Okay, so yes, I would play Palmer, and then I would play Brian Robinson as your flex play this week. Thank you. Appreciate it. Pedro's Lucario says standard, need 3 running backs. Of the potential 4 options, we have David Montgomery, Isaiah Pacheco, Samaje Perine, and Rachaad White. Again, under my assumption that we are going to see Joe Mixon not be able to clear the concussion protocol, considering he has gone 2 weeks now without clearing the concussion protocol, he's most likely not going to play today. With that being said, my 3 suggestions out of the 4 for you this week here, Pedro, would be Perine, Montgomery, and White. Thank you. Appreciate it. Pyro Hype 323 says 2 quarterback super flex league. Kenny Pickett is my second quarterback, or Jamal Williams or Rachaad White. I would play Kenny Pickett as your second quarterback this week against Atlanta secondary. I think that's definitely a good matchup on hand. Thank you. Michael Barton says White or Pacheco in the flex. I would rather play Rachaad White over Isaiah Pacheco in the flex. McKinnon is healthy. Yeah, even with McKinnon healthy, even if McKinnon wasn't healthy, I'm still rolling with White over Pacheco. Thank you. Brando23 says half PPR, need a flex. We have Jeff Wilson Jr., Samaje Perine, George Pickens, Kieran Williams. Again, Samaje Perine will be the play there. Now, let's say, for example, in 10 minutes from now, if Andrew gets an update that says Joe Mixon is actually going to be active today, at that point, we would pivot to playing George Pickens. Brando23, thank you. As for your follow-up question, also, would you drop Kieran Williams to activate Jameson Williams from the IR? Yes, you should do that, but not this week. Not yet, because you don't want to play Jameson Williams this week. Jameson Williams is going to play, guys, but he's going to be on a snap count. So let's say, for example, the Detroit Lions play 60 total offensive snaps in the given week, which is like an average number for any NFL team in the National Football League as of this season. They play 60 snaps. At very most, I see Jameson Williams playing like 25 of those 60 overall snaps as an offense. So he's not a startable option in this given week. It's more of they're going to give him a look. They're going to get him some more NFL experience, and then they'll obviously get him at a full capacity in future weeks. So as of this moment, we're in a position where you don't want to drop Kieran Williams just yet. Okay? But either way, Brando, the suggestion was to roll with Perine. I see someone in the chat, Kevin Smith, was saying, Fox pregame show just announced that Mixon is out. Appreciate that. Thank you for confirming that, Kevin. Hopefully, I can get a confirmation from Mr. Rappaport soon. But I'll take your word for it for right now, because, again, that was the assumption that I was basing off of all the information that I collected last night. Okay. Moving on. We had Tony Telford. Thank you very much. Says, hope your day is well, brother. I appreciate that. Thank you very much, Tony. Full PPR. Play Perine as my RB2 over Montgomery or flex over Godwin. I would play him I would play specifically in a full PPR scoring format. I would play Samaje Perine over David Montgomery as your RB2. I would leave Chris Godwin in the flex position. Again, he's been far too good in a full PPR to bench. So you're good to go there. And then as for your follow-up question, it's hope Ingram can score with Njoku out. Yeah, hopefully Evan Ingram can have himself a decent week here against Detroit. It's a fantastic matchup. It's just a matter of what kind of target opportunity he's going to receive today. Thank you very much, Tony. Appreciate it. Matthew 1031 says full PPR. If Debo clears, start Debo or Josh Palmer, even if Debo clears. So just to give you guys a little bit of an understanding as to why I have the rankings as such on screen. So Debo at number 30 on screen has a little bit of a questionable tag next to him. That indication isn't to say that he would go up in my rankings if he was active. That's the ranking that he would get from me if he is active. So even at his very best, I think that Debo Samuel is a wide receiver 3 that we absolutely just, I mean, again, he's behind Mike Evans and Courtland Sutton. You guys know what I think about Mike Evans this week. Courtland Sutton is coming off of an illness in which he didn't practice all week long. So that's like the questionable, like, hey, those are the risky play guys that have upside. So for right now, yes, I would play Josh Palmer to answer your question, Matthew. Thank you. Ryan says, good morning, Andrew. Good morning to all of you as well, especially you, Ryan. Thank you. Full PPR, flex Lockett, Evans, Miles Sanders, or Kamara. Out of the group, I will take Tyler Lockett there. Thank you. FF says, half PPR, I have Christian Watson starting. Pick one wide receiver, Debo or Evans, or pick up Palmer, Zay Jones, or Pickens. Okay, interesting. So to answer that primary question, in a full PPR, if I had the opportunity to do so, I would go pick up Zay Jones. I would. In a full PPR scoring format, I'll take Zay Jones there. But actually, it's a half PPR. So that at that point, give me Pickens. So yeah, I'll go Pickens, Palmer, Zay Jones, just like it says on screen for a half PPR. If it was a full PPR, a different conversation. But at this point, yeah, I'd go pick him up. As for your follow-up, Rachaad White or pick up Gus Edwards, I'd go pick up Gus Edwards there for this week. Again, I'm not dropping Rachaad White. I'm not dropping Evans or Debo for any of those guys. But if you have exterior options that are, like you have a Deontay Johnson on your roster, or you got like a Kadarius Toney that could be dropped, then yeah, let's go drop those guys that are just filling your bench up, and let's go get some studs. Appreciate it. Carlo says full PPR must win. Need the highest potential upside. Pick 3. We have Waddle, Lamb, Metcalf, Godwin, and Christian Watson. It's an 8-team league. Okay, so it's a full PPR league. Considering the full PPR nature of this league, I will take Lamb, Waddle, and Godwin. I'm benching Metcalf and I'm benching Watson. I know it's tough to do so, but I think those 3 other primary options are far too good to bench in this capacity. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Carlo. Alex Olivas says, where did it go? Okay, says, hey Andrew, half PPR, last flex spot available. Donovan Peoples-Jones, Rachaad White, Latavius Murray, or Kieran Williams, and potentially why. Okay, so of the 4 options, Latavius Murray plays against the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens, I don't believe, have given up 50 rushing yards to an opposing starting running back, and actually to an opposing backfield in like a month plus now. I think it's been 5 weeks that they haven't allowed him, 50 plus rushing yards. So I'm not really trusting Latavius today. And Mike Boone has been reactivated off the IR. Kieran Williams is going to get himself work, but at very best, probably gets himself 7 or 8 points in fantasy. So in comparison to guys like DPJ and Rachaad White, it's a matter of how much opportunity you're going to get in the receiving game and how many touches you're going to get at the end of the day. So I honestly think that Rachaad White by himself can out-target DPJ in this given game. And with that kind of information on top of the fact that I'm expecting him to be the primary, first and second down back, we're going to see sprinkles of Leonard Fournette. I honestly think that we're going to see this Tampa Bay backfield turn into something that's very similar to what, Zeke and Pollard are, right? Pollard is Rachaad White. He is the more talented younger back that has more burst and has more speed and has more elusiveness and is, quite frankly, at this point, the better running back at the current position. But they trust Fournette, and they're going to give Fournette those carries, and they're going to give him the opportunities to score. So for right now, I'm going to go with Rachaad White there. Thank you. Heavy CMC says, you're the man. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it. Again, the rankings are there. So, use them as you will, my friend. Thank you. D Brown says PPR, 6-point per passing touchdown format, Latavius Murray or Kareem Hunt. Okay, so as a primary question, first and foremost, Latavius Murray or Kareem Hunt. I'll take Kareem Hunt, again, under the assumption that the matchup between the Cleveland Browns and the Houston Texans, again, one of the most advantageous matchups you could possibly see. The best run blocking team in the National Football League right now against the team that literally cannot stop the run, are quite literally giving up 24 plus fantasy points per week on average since week 7 in terms of rushing statistics alone to opposing running backs, which is rushing, yards and touchdowns. This is going to be a cakewalk for the rushing attack of the Cleveland Browns. So for right now, I'll go Kareem Hunt there. As for your follow-up question, Daniel Jones, Mike White, considering it's a 6-point per passing touchdown format, I'll take Mike White there. Even in a 4-point, I'm taking Mike White. I think Daniel Jones is going to have his hands full. A couple of his offensive linemen are continuing to be, missing options in this given week. He's going to be in a decent spot against Washington. It's just, Darius Slayton's been sick all week, missing practice. Same thing with Richie James, been dealing with an injury there. Kenny Galladay's probably not going to be active. They've got a lot of weapons missing, and the offensive line being another missing factor in that entire equation definitely makes it tough to start him. So I'll take Mike White there. Crypt Keeper says PPR. I need a second quarterback here. PPR 2-quarterback league. That was your indication. Okay, got it. Need 3. Dalvin Cook, Godwin, Kenneth Walker, Jimmy G. Okay, so in a PPR with those, okay, in a 4-point per passing touchdown league. Okay, so of the 4 options here, Crypt Keeper. Number 1, Chris Godwin's the highest ranked player of the 4 between Dalvin Cook, Chris Godwin, Kenneth Walker, Jimmy G. So Chris Godwin has to play. After that, do I think Kenneth Walker and or Dalvin Cook are going to potentially outscore Jimmy G? I think they could. I think it's probably just safe to do this. Let's play Godwin, let's play Kenneth Walker, let's play Jimmy G. Thank you, appreciate it. Alejandro Scott says Samaje Perine or Travis Etienne this week in a full PPR. In a full PPR scoring format, I'll take Samaje Perine. Thank you. Lilish4 says half PPR, Gus Edwards or Zay Jones. I will take Gus Edwards there. Follow up, also full PPR, Freiermuth or Darius Slayton. Out of the two in a full PPR scoring format, I would probably venture to say that, I'm actually, you know what? I'm going to opt to my rankings there. That one is not an off the top of the head. Where do I have them ranked? So Darius Slayton in a full PPR, I have as my number 66. And I have Pat Freiermuth, where art thou? I think I have Freiermuth probably ahead of him. I have to look this up. So 66 is there, and then Fryer. Where art thou, Fryer? So I have Pat Freiermuth in a full PPR as my number 60 overall player, and Darius Slayton at 66. I'll take Fryer. Thank you. All right, moving on. Let's see here. All right, just want to remind you guys, for those of you who are just joining us this morning, welcome, good morning. These are our Week 13 rankings, up to date on screen to the right of me. So, again, if you guys have a question that's interpositional, whether it is, running backs, wide receivers, tight ends, quarterbacks, the rankings on screen will answer that. If you are not at home, you're on mobile, the rankings are also included in the description of the video. You can travel down there. While you're down there, be sure to click the like button. Thank you very much. I greatly appreciate it, guys. Again, for those of you who are asking questions like Dak or Watson, again, those are answered on screen. I know some of you have questions like Juan Jimenez in the chat was saying Muth or Lazard. I would roll with Muth there. Again, Lazard is outside of that top 36 wide receiver conversation based on his inconsistency over the last couple weeks, and I don't think it's getting back on track anytime soon. So at that point, awesome. I'm going to try to answer everyone's questions. Obviously, I probably won't have enough time to do so. Hopefully, by proxy of answering somebody else's question, I can answer yours if the rankings on screen aren't able to do so. We'll mention kicker and defensive rankings in about, I'd say, 17 minutes from now. Okay. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Spencer Goldberg says, start one, Kamara, Rachaad White, or Samaje Perine. I'll take Samaje Perine this week there, Spencer. Thank you. Chris S says, full PPR flex, Sanders, Swift, or Zay Jones. Ooh, that's an actual good one. Because in my mind, it's between Zay Jones and Miles Sanders there in a full PPR. At this point, I'm probably going to venture and say, I'm probably going to roll with Zay Jones there. I'll go Zay Jones there in a full PPR format. Thank you. Let's see here. Vlad sends in a question. Thank you very much, Vlad. Appreciate it. Let me see here. What is this Twitter? Eagles pass rusher inactive. Yeah, okay. No, I want to know about Najee Harris, man. Why are these reports anything but? Either way. Anyway, so answering your question, Vlad. Vlad says Tyrion Davis-Price or Jordan Mason for the 49ers backup role right now with Mitchell out. I would probably lean towards it being Tyrion Davis-Price. As for your follow-up, I have the option to play Treylon Burks instead of them two. Who would you play out of the three? So yeah, if I had a choice of playing Tyrion Davis-Price, Jordan Mason, and or Treylon Burks, I would 1000% play Treylon Burks in any scoring format over those two options. Thank you. Appreciate it, Vlad. Demond Smith, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Very generous of you. Full PPR says, who should I start? Fields, Carr, or Mike White? Yeah, absolutely playing Fields. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see here. We had Chris Moraga sends in a question. Thank you very much, Chris. Says half PPR, Kieran Williams or Deontay Johnson? Goodness gracious. We're at this point now. I would play Kieran Williams, I think. Yeah. I think I'd confidently play Kieran Williams. The issue that I have with a half PPR Deontay Johnson is that this season already, he has only once in the entire season been a top 36 wide receiver, standing ranked player at the end of a given week. That in itself is just, it's not worth it to me. I think I'd rather just take the guaranteed points there in the flex option. Appreciate it. Let's see here. We had Michael sends in a question. Michael Carrion says, drop Latavius Murray for Samaje Perine and play Perine over Jamal Williams or Watson in the flex, full PPR. Yeah, I'd be willing to do so. I'm fine with that. Now, this is under the assumption that you're fishing for the win here, right? Because I do believe that when we compare Perine and Latavius Murray rest of season value, I do believe Latavius Murray has more value. But if you're fishing for a victory here, I would feel far more comfortable in the position of picking up Samaje Perine and playing him. Now, if we're going to play him next to either Jamal Williams or Watson, let me go see my full PPR rankings. Let's see here. Who do I have ranked higher? So at this moment, I have, where's Christian Watson? Christian Watson 34 and Jamal Williams, I think, yeah, 32. So I play both those running backs there in that point. Thank you. Stephen Drake says, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well, Stephen. Thank you. Need 3.5 PPR scoring format. We have Perine, Pierce, Aaron Jones, JT. Yeah, at this position, I'd play Jonathan Taylor first, Aaron Jones second, and of course, Samaje Perine third. Thank you. So that means sitting Dameon Pierce. Wrangler sends in a question, says PPR, Jimmy G or Watson? I'll take Jimmy G this week. Again, I think the baseline floor of what Jimmy G presents to us is enough for me to feel confident there. And if he goes above and beyond that overall baseline of production, he will certainly outscore Watson at a pretty confident rate in my mind. As for your follow-up, 2 running backs, 1 wide receiver, 1 flex for the remaining players that you have on roster. You have Najee, Montgomery, White, Perine, Murray, Cooper, Garrett Wilson. Holy moly, you got a roster, huh? Okay, so yeah, I understand why you're struggling to set up a lineup here because you got a bunch of studs across the board, don't you? So, 2 running backs that we're playing here of Najee, Montgomery, White, Perine. Under the assumption that we actually get a situation here where there's a confirmed Najee Harris is starting and playing, he would play alongside of Montgomery. Actually, no, he wouldn't. No, actually forget about that. You have Perine. So we're playing Montgomery and Perine as your RB1 and 2 there, Wrangler. Follow up. As for your wide receiver play, I'm playing Amari Cooper. As for your flex play, I'm playing Garrett Wilson. So Montgomery, Perine, Cooper, Garrett Wilson. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Good luck this week. Luke Rossi says, non-PPR, so it's just standard format. Start 2, Amon-Ra, Waddle, ETN. Thank you. In a non-PPR scoring format, where we get no points per reception, I would at that point play Waddle and ETN. Thank you. Mike sends in a question, says Tom Brady, Deshaun Watson, Jimmy G in a 4-point per passing touchdown format. I will take Jimmy G there. Again, guys, rankings are on screen. Those are the rankings that I would roll with going into the week. So I have Jimmy G at 12, Brady at 13, Watson at 14. I appreciate you sending that in. Thank you. Let's see here. We had CB sends in a question, says full PPR. I need wide receiver 1 and RB1 in a flex. We have Pittman, Garrett Wilson, Kamara, Pollard, and Pacheco. Of the available options you have, CB, I'm playing Pollard as your RB1. I'm playing Garrett Wilson as your wide receiver 1. And considering it's a full PPR scoring format, give me Michael Pittman Jr. in the flex. Thank you. iShine101 comes back with another question, says, I need upside. PPR, Zonovan White, Juju Smith-Schuster, Brian Robinson, Sutton, Cordero Patterson, or Donovan Peoples-Jones. Pick 3 to start. I have 2 flex spots and 1 RB2 spot. Okay, awesome. So your RB2 in this current juncture in a full PPR scoring format, iShine, would be Brian Robinson over guys like Zonovan or Cordero. So Brian Robinson's the start there. As for the 2 other flex positions you have available, I'm playing Juju Smith-Schuster in one of them. And considering you have Sutton, you have Cordero, you have Donovan Peoples-Jones. I'm actually thinking I kind of want to play. Yeah, it's a full PPR. It's probably just safer to play Sutton because I know for a fact he'll get over 10 fantasy points, but I want to play Cordero Patterson there. I think it's just risky to do so. Again, you're saying you need upside. So I think I'm going to suggest we go Brian Robinson, Juju, and Cordero there this week. Thank you. The Truth 718 says 1 PPR pick 3. Okay, so 1 point per PPR. Sorry. Pick 3 of the potential 4 wide receivers. Keenan Allen, Christian Watson, DK Metcalf, Chris Olave. Yeah, I'll play Keenan Allen, Christian Watson, and DK Metcalf. I'm sitting Olave there. Thank you very much, The Truth. That guy, Kevin, thank you very much. Kevin says, Dak or Fields this week? I'll take Fields. As for the follow-up, Pierce or White this week? I will take Rashad White. Thank you. Appreciate it. Mike says, pick 3. Wilson, Pacheco, Fournette, Ayuk, Schultz. Wilson, Pacheco, Fournette, Ayuk, Schultz. Okay, so out of the options you have available to you, I will play Garrett Wilson, I will play Dalton Schultz, I will play Brandon Ayuk in a full PPR scoring format. So what that means, Mike, is that I'm sitting both the running backs that you mentioned. I'm playing the receivers and the tight end. Thank you. Appreciate it. Paolo in the chat was asking, is Joe Mixon playing? No, he has been deemed out based on what we've at least seen in the chat. For those of you who are wondering where I would have Jerry Jeudy potentially ranked, I mean, at this point, under the assumption that Jerry Jeudy even plays today, I currently have him ranked at 45. Okay, so he is really outside. Like, I even have Jerry Jeudy ranked behind Kendall Hinton. Like, I don't know if Jerry Jeudy's going to make an immediate impact this week, especially considering the matchup against Baltimore. So, yeah, Judy's in a tough spot there, guys, for those of you who were wondering. Appreciate it. Okay, GK sends in a question. GK, let's get to your question. Have I caught up almost? Almost. I'm almost caught up, guys. We're going to be mentioning kicker and defense rankings in about 9 minutes. Again, for those of you who are joining us, thank you. If you guys have not yet already, be sure to click the like button down below. We're answering questions. The rankings on screen are up to date as of this morning in regards to our half PPR rankings, top 36 running backs, wide receivers, top 16 quarterbacks in a 4-point per passing touchdown format, and tight ends in a half PPR scoring format. So if you have an interpositional question, bada boom. If not, hopefully via proxy of answering somebody else's flex question, I can get to yours. Thank you. GK says, flex one in a full PPR: Sanders, Watson, Knight, White, or Burks. I'll play Christian Watson there. Thank you. Pyro 323. Barkley, Cook, Pirine, or Christian Kirk. Okay. Pick 2 running backs, 1 flex, and a half PPR. Of the available players that you have in a half PPR scoring format, I'll play all 3 running backs. You know what? I probably won't. Do I want to sit Barkley? Probably not. But I think I have to sit in that position. Let me think about this. Yeah, it's a half PPR, right? Okay. Yeah, just start all 3 running backs. Go Barkley, Cook, Pirine. I'm considering playing Christian Kirk over Barkley right now, but I think it would just be a mistake. Let's roll with the 3 running backs there. Paris Lark sends in a question, says half PPR: Rachaad White or Freiermuth. I will play Rachaad White there. Thank you very much, Paris. Kurth Coogan says, hey Andrew, Allen or Pacheco this week in a standard? So Keenan Allen or Isaiah Pacheco in a standard scoring format this week? I actually, because here's the thing about Keenan Allen. He could have himself like 5 catches for 70 yards and then be nothing else outside of that, right? Touchdown upside isn't always great with Keenan Allen. He typically scores about 6 touchdowns a season over the course of his career. So I probably just roll with Pacheco there. Thank you. Cade Elliott says, I have to move Jameson Williams off the injured reserve so I can grab a defense. Should I drop Mostert or Komet? Okay. I'm starting Moreau over him this week. Okay, good. Or should I just go with the Dolphins defense? I mean, if you have one, okay, so let's do this. Let's talk about our top available defenses and kickers right now. So going into the week, these are my defensive rankings, okay? Just so we're all on the same page. Top 10 defenses that I have ranked. Number 1, Baltimore Ravens. Number 2, Dallas Cowboys. Number 3, Seattle Seahawks. Number 4, Tampa Bay Bucks. Number 5, Cleveland Browns. Number 6, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 7, New York Jets. Number 8, San Francisco 49ers. Number 9, Washington Commanders. Number 10, Minnesota Vikings. Let's talk about top 10 kickers. Tucker is number 1. Number 2 is Myers. Number 3 is Carlson. Number 4 is Butker. Number 5, Maher. Number 6, McPherson. Number 7, we have Suckup. Number 8, Dicker. Number 9, Gould. Number 10, Gano. So let's say, for example, you are in a position right now, Cade, in which you got to bring Jameson Williams out of the IR in order to drop a player and keep it moving. I would drop Mostert. Literally, yeah, I would probably just drop Mostert there. I want to keep Komet just in case. Because going forward, when Darren Waller comes back to fill in for Moreau, you're going to need another guy, right? So I'd rather keep Komet on roster. Thank you. G. Hefe sends in a question. Says, until further notice, whether Lattimore starts or not, do I lock Godwin in over Olave? Yeah, Godwin over Olave 10 times out of 10, 1,000%. Without a doubt. Yeah, the only thing about Marshawn Lattimore, it's whether it affects, Mike Evans in general, right? Because Marshawn's never going to travel into the slot to cover Godwin. Thank you. D. Brown says, PPR, Jeff Wilson Jr. or DPJ. In a full PPR scoring format, I will take... Ooh, wow. I think I'm probably still going to play Jeff Wilson there. Even in the tougher matchup. I'm not 100% convinced as to what we'll see out of Peoples-Jones. Let me see here. Where do I have Jeff Wilson ranked in? Yeah, I have Jeff Wilson in a full PPR flex ranking 62, Donovan Peoples-Jones 65. So they're close. I have Jeff Wilson just slightly ahead of him though. Thank you. Bill sends in a question. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bill. I appreciate that. The tongue twister there for a second, huh? All right, full PPR. Double flex, pick 2, Rashad White, Pacheco. Interesting. Devonta Smith, ETN. Should I be concerned about ETN? Yeah, you shouldn't be concerned about ETN. I think you should be perfectly fine there. Again, the only reason that they held him out last week was because they wanted to kind of make sure that their future running back, for multiple seasons here is going to be healthy, and they're not going to risk re-injury of any sort. And they're on a little bit of a hot streak here, obviously coming off a victory against a really good Baltimore Ravens team. So as of right now, if we're playing 2 of these options, I would lean in a full PPR in the direction of playing Devonta Smith and Travis Etienne. Thank you. Marvin Lewis says, standard, start 2, flex. Okay, so start 2, flex 1. Got it. We have Jacobs, we have Elliott, we have Pacheco, we have Swift, we have Olave, we have Pickens. In a standard scoring format of the available options you have, I'm playing Josh Jacobs, I'm playing Ezekiel Elliott, and I'm following up with playing Pacheco there. Thank you. Dave Ports 1 says PPR, Thielen, Sutton, Murray. Thielen, Sutton, or Murray. In a PPR scoring format, at this point, assuming that's Latavius Murray in comparison to the other options, I'll probably play in a full PPR, I'll play Thielen over Sutton and Murray. Yeah, I'll go Thielen there. As for the follow-up, Murray... Okay, sorry. As for the follow-up, you have Browns defense or Washington defense. I will play the Browns over the Commanders defense this week, Dave Ports. Thank you. Let's see here. Travis in the chat was saying, why is Edwards so high? Would he be this high in a full PPR? He would still be in that range. Again, earlier this week, I had a must-start video. One of the main topics in that video was talking about Gus Edwards. So if you haven't checked that out, you can go ahead and hear some of my thoughts on the matter there. Appreciate it. Jerry Jeudy is out. Got it. Okay, so if Jerry Jeudy is out, at that point, let's play Sutton over Thielen in a full PPR scoring format. Like, I'm not even joking. That's the fringe little tick over. Is he actually confirmed out? Because I want to actually check this, because I might have a team that I might have to play him in. Where art thou? Anyone know if Mixon is out today? Yeah, Mixon should be out. I mean, that's the assumption, that he hasn't cleared concussion protocol. So you should probably try to get Samaje Perine if you don't already have him. I'm looking at Jerry Jeudy's current status, and it doesn't say he's out. So whoever said that might get banned. Nah, I'm just kidding. But yeah, let's not spew some BS that I'm gonna get cooked for. So we're going back to playing Thielen over Sutton. Who actually said that? Donald Smith. Come on, man. Let's figure it out, huh? Why are we all of a sudden? Why are we selling Andrew down the drain with your false information? I appreciate it though. Whatever. Moving on. We had G Hefe says, my bad, full PPR Olave Godwin question. Yeah, even in a full PPR, I'm playing Godwin over Olave. It's not even close, actually, in fact. Joe R says, Etienne, Olave, Ayuk, Jamal, Pacheco, Rashad. Okay, in a PPR scoring format. All right, Joe. So of the available players you have, if I'm only allowed to pick one of those potential options, I will play Etienne out of the group. Thank you. Ruben says, concerned about Gibson's foot? Yeah, I am a little bit. I mean, his current ranking on screen kind of gives you a little bit of an indication as to what I'm expecting from him in comparison to other running backs. So yes, I am concerned about his potential in the given week. That being said, it's not enough to where I'm not starting him. If he's active, again, we've seen Gibson play through shin splints, a plethora of injuries in seasons past. He's a tough son of a gun at the running back position, so I'm not worried about Gibson. I would play him over the potential options that you have available there, Ruben. Thank you. Du sends in a question. Says, Duan says, full PPR, Boyd, Hollins, Knight in a three-man running back by committee situation. Of the available options, I'll play Tyler Boyd. Thank you. Let's see here. Lover sends in a question. Says, pick 2, Samaje, Christian Watson, Miles Sanders. Let's say it's a half PPR, right? Samaje Perine first and foremost. I'll take Christian Watson second. Actually, no, in a half PPR, let's probably play. Let me actually see this. Where do I even have Miles Sanders in comparison to Christian Watson in a half PPR? So Miles Sanders is there, and I have Christian Watson ahead of him. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, Christian Watson and Samaje Perine. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Kadeem Ellington says, full PPR, Kieran Williams or Alan Lazard? Thanks. In a full PPR, I will play Kieran Williams there. Thank you. Clarence O says, "What's up, Andrew? Hope you're doing well, Clarence. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Long time viewer for sure. I lost Mixon. Do I start Kieran Williams or Jerry Jeudy in the flex half PPR? I'll play Kieran Williams there. Thank you. Sebastian Alex, thank you very much. Says half PPR. Start 4. Flex 1. We have Olave, Debo. We have Palmer. Okay. So how are we starting 4? 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and we're flexing 1? I'm assuming that's the case, Sebastian, because that's kind of the standard, right? So if we're starting 2 wide receivers, it would be Olave and Palmer. If we're starting 2 running backs, it would be Jacobs and McCaffrey, and I would flex Pirine. Perfect. Done. Thank you. Jinx says, "Sup, boss? Half PPR, double flex, Palmer, White, or Brian Robinson. In a half PPR scoring format, double flex, I'm starting 2 of these guys. The first guy I'm playing is Brian Robinson. The second guy is Rachaad White. The third guy would be Palmer and a half. So, but if you're only starting 1, it's Brian Robinson. Thank you." Justin sends in a question, says, "Zay Jones, Pittman, Juju, DPJ, Slayton, Zeke, Kamara, full PPR. Thanks, dude. Have to win to get 2 running backs slot. Get in 2 RB slots, 2 wide receivers, and a flex." Okay, so of the available that you've mentioned, right? Zay Jones, Pittman, Juju, DPJ, Kamara. I'm actually curious. Do I have Juju Smith-Schuster ahead of Zeke in a full PPR? I don't think I do. I think it's close, but I don't think I have him. No, I have Zeke number 1 amongst all the players you mentioned. Juju is the next highest. Outside of that, who else did you have mentioned here? You had Pittman would be 3rd highest of the bunch. So as of right now, if we're starting, let's say for example, we're starting 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers in a flex here, it'd be Zeke, Kamara. Well, actually no, because you don't need to worry about that, right? This is just filling in a flex spot. It would be Zeke. And then the next best option after that is Juju. Thank you. Appreciate it, Justin. Problem Bless says, "Pick 2 full PPR, DK, ETN, JT, and Y." And Y is kind of an easy, idea. Jonathan Taylor, 20+ rushing attempts each of the last 3 weeks, has scored a touchdown in each of the last 3 games. Should have had 2 last week. It's a run-first committee and just giving them all the touches that they possibly can. Even though Braden Smith is out starting right tackle, fully confident that JT will continue to find the end zone and be a fantasy relevant option. As for ETN and or DK Metcalf, that one's close, but I'll take DK Metcalf. I think ETN is in a good spot to be a decent play this week, but in a full PPR, considering ETN isn't getting as much potential upside in that receiving game, JaMychal Hasty will probably kind of dominate that workload. I'm pretty comfortable with DK Metcalf there against the Rams defense that, again, is falling apart slowly but surely every single week here. Thank you. Alrighty, have I caught up? Okay, let's go ahead and let's figure this out here, huh? Where the heck am I? Again, if you guys have sent in a question, I'm probably a little bit behind on answering that because I'm trying my very best to catch up. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, okay? Daniel Chavez sends in a question. Thank you very much, Daniel. Says, choose 1 running back. Okay, choose 1 RB in a full PPR scoring format. Rachaad White, Jeff Wilson, Gus Edwards, Zonovan Knight. Of the available options in a full PPR, I think I'm still playing Gus Edwards there, quite frankly. Rachaad White's close, man. Rachaad White's really close, actually. Yeah, I'm going to still play Gus Edwards there. Thank you. Sam Neimer. Sam Neimer. Interesting. Okay. Hey, Andrew. Need your help this Sunday. Full PPR. Do I start Kamara over Pirine? No. I would play Samaje Perine again under the assumption that we have Joe Mixon potentially out, not clearing the concussion protocol. I want to actually check something. NFL Week 13. When do the Chiefs okay, so considering the Chiefs play in the afternoon slate, okay? Considering they play in the afternoon slate, you have to probably, if you have Mixon on roster, you probably have to be in a position where if you don't have Samaje Perine, you're going to have to start somebody else right now, because if you don't know if he's going to be active and you don't have a pivoting option in that afternoon window, you may be in a little bit of trouble. So again, I'm assuming Mixon's out. He probably doesn't clear concussion protocol based on all the reports that I saw. So yeah, Perine's there for you, Sam. As for your follow-up, 2 flex options. I have Pittman Jr., Dameon Pierce, Garrett Wilson, plus the first mentioned running backs. Okay, so of the available players you have left there, Sam, I would play Michael Pittman Jr. and I'd play Garrett Wilson remaining. Thank you. Terry R says pick 2: Kamara, Knight, Murray, Pacheco, Debo. I'd play Kamara and I would play Pacheco. Thank you. Appreciate it. Shoddy says Sutton or DeAndre Carter full PPR with Judy back. I'll still play Sutton there. I like DeAndre Carter. He's on the rankings for a reason. I'm just not fully convinced at that capacity to where I'm absolutely starting him. So yeah, I'll take the stability of Sutton. I mean, Carter, two of the last 3 weeks, Carter scored a touchdown. Even in the last game he played against the Raiders, week 1 he scored a touchdown. There's a chance he could find the end zone. Again, it's really difficult for wide receivers to do that on a consistent basis and for us to predict touchdowns in the first place. So for right now, I'll just take the stable points in a full PPR from Sutton there. Thank you. Steven sends in a question, says full PPR, Gus Edwards, Sutton, or Deontay Johnson. I will play Gus Edwards over the rest of the gang there. Thank you. Ryan Miller says half PPR. As in RB2. Okay, so we need to start 2 RBs in a singular flex. Okay, we have Zeke. Will? Who's Will? Who's Will? I mean, actually, we have Zeke, Will, Pirine, Terry, and Waddle. Which running back's name is Will? Man, am I actually like brain rot? Like, what happened to me? Will? You mean Jamal Williams? That's not what you mean, right? There's no way you shortened Williams to Will. There's no way. Because there's Kieran Williams, so I don't know who you're talking about. Let's say, for example, you are talking about Jamal Williams, right? If it's Jamal Williams, I'm playing Pirine with Jamal Williams. If it's Kieran Williams, I'll play Zeke and Pirine. Now, as for your wide receiver that we're playing, I'm playing Waddle over Terry McLaurin. Thank you very much, Ryan. Appreciate it. Again, guys, if you're going to abbreviate names, at least put like a J Will or a K Will so I know. You know what I mean? Jeff Wilson. Okay, if it's Jeff, you know, it could be, but he put 2 L's with Will. So I don't know. I mean, okay, yeah. Ryan confirmed in the chat it's J Will. Okay, so yeah, Ryan, in your case, I'll play J Will and I'll play Pirine. And I'll play Waddle at wide receiver. Thank you. Satish says, pick 1, Sutton, Ayuk, Pickens. There's a full PPR different from a half PPR. In the case of those 3 receivers, no, I would still play Ayuk. Thank you. Bainsky sends in a question. Says full PPR, RB1 in a flex. Kamara, Swift, Murray, Pickens, and Zay Jones. Oh, goodness. Oh, man. Okay, in a full PPR, RB out of the group, I'm playing Kamara. I don't like it, but I have to do it. As for your flex, I'm playing Zay Jones. Thank you. Colin Smith. 5 point per passing touchdown. Jimmy G or Rodgers. I'll take Jimmy G there. Thank you. Metal Wings says standard PPR. Pick 3. Keenan Allen. Okay. Keenan Allen. Godwin. Jamal. Christian Watson. Pittman. Devonta Smith. Okay. So PPR pick 3. Godwin number 1 by a significant margin. I'll take. Wowie. I think. Oh, man. It's between Jamal Williams and like Christian Watson at this point, and I think I'm gonna play Jamal Williams. Let me confirm this before I lose my mind. So I have Keenan Allen. Where is that? That's wide receiver. No, I need flex rankings. So let me see here. So in comparison, I have Jamal Williams there, and I have Christian Watson there. Yeah. Okay. So my suggestion, Metal Wings, would please play Godwin, Jamal Williams, and Keenan Allen out of the available players you have. As for Prescott or Geno, I'll take Dak Prescott going into the week against Indianapolis secondary. Zinski, thank you very much, says Rachaad White or Christian Kirk in a PPR, or Keenan Allen or Pollard. Out of the group, I'll play Christian Kirk if I had to only pick 1. Thank you. Colin Smith says half PPR, start 2. Zeke Pacheco, Rachaad White. I'll take Rachaad White and Zeke. Thank you. Joel Barron says start Gus Edwards, Zay Jones in a must-win. In a half PPR, I'll take Gus Edwards. In a full PPR, I'll take Zay Jones. In a standard, I'll take Gus Edwards as well. iShine says pick 1 for the flex. Zonovan Knight, Van Jefferson, Elijah Moore, full PPR. At that point, I'll take Zonovan Knight. D. Porter says, hey, Andrew, sorry if you've already talked about this. Do you think it's safe to start Mixon and ETN? Well, Mixon, no. I don't think it's safe to play Mixon because everything that I've read in terms of how concussion protocol works, he should have already been cleared by now, right? He has been on the concussion protocol list for 2 weeks. That is a really concerning factor. So the assumption is that because he hasn't already been, hit with a already cleared designation, it leads me to believe that he most likely is going to end up missing in the afternoon slate. I'm looking at the report as of this morning, 5:38 a.m. via RotoWire. Looks like a long shot to play. Mixon, who was listed as questionable in Sunday's game against the Chiefs, while he remains in the NFL's concussion protocol, is viewed as a long shot to play via Ian Rappaport of the NFL Network. Again, with the game's kickoff being at 4:25 p.m. ET, Mixon still has a few hours theoretically to clear this 5-step protocol, but the Bengals don't seem to be proceeding with the idea, considering they have P. Ryan. Okay, so again, ETN is definitely a safe start in my mind. Mixon, on the other hand, not. Thank you very much, Porter. I appreciate it. Benjamin Todd. Let's see here. Benjamin. Where art thou, Benjamin? Okay, Benjamin Todd says, play one. One greasy tight end. Is it Jelani Woods, Noah Fant, or Taysom Hill? I'll take Jelani Woods this week. I'm going to pray that the momentum of last week keeps him in the realm of possibility of being a decent play. Let's see here. Defensive and kicker ranking? Sure, let's do that. While we're here at 9:02 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, let's go ahead and let's talk about kicker and defense ranking, shall we? Okay, so let's start with defense, shall we? Here we go. Top 10. Number 1, Baltimore Ravens. Number 2, Dallas Cowboys. Number 3, Seattle Seahawks. Number 4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 5, Cleveland Browns. Number 6, Philadelphia Eagles. Number 7, New York Jets. Number 8, San Francisco 49ers. Number 9, Washington Commanders. Number 10, Minnesota Vikings. As for our top 10 kickers, we have Justin Tucker, number 1. Number 2 is Jason Myers. Number 3 is Daniel Carlson. Number 4, Harrison Butker. Number 5, Brett Maher. Number 6, Evan McPherson. Number 7, we have Ryan Suckup. Number 8, Cameron Dicker. Number 9, Robbie Gould. Number 10, Graham Gano. The lucky part about this week is that there's no weather concerns. Goodness gracious, has that been a lucky week? Kevin Smith says Prize Picks ? Yeah. My favorite pick on the week via Prize Picks is one that I literally put in I think at like 4 a.m. this morning when I was finishing my rankings. Let me see here. I think I put it in. Let me confirm. I'll be able to confirm this right now. Let's see here. So if I go to my entries, yeah. So my favorite picks of the week specifically begin with this one. Okay. Jalen Waddle, more than 68.5 receiving yards. He's completed this in 7 out of the last 8 games he has played with Tua. And then Gus Edwards, 54.5 rushing yards. The number was lower earlier this week. Literally was at a point where earlier this week, it was at quite literally 50.5. You see this? It was at 50.5. And just started getting on the dog pile, and then they started moving the number up. But I still think he surpasses this. And we also have a bunch of these other picks that we've made over the last couple of days that are, some of the good ones. If you guys want to, you can pause that. Either way, check out Prize Picks. There's a link down in the description when you use promo code Andrew today. And you make that first time deposit when using that promo code, your first time deposit is immediately doubled up to 100. So if you deposit 10, you'll be given 10 extra bonus. You deposit 50, you'll be given 50, etc. up to 100. So check that out today. Put together some picks, whether you're, trailing, fading, NBA, NFL. Check that out. Thank you. All right. Let's see here. Illage sends in a question. Says, Jerry Jeudy is now active or Gus Edwards. I'll still play Gus Edwards there. Thank you. Sergio Serrano says, I'm stuck between these tight ends, Harrison Bryant or Hayden Hurst, or Jack Conklin. Sorry, not Jack Conklin. That's his brother. Tyler Conklin or Hayden Hurst. Okay, so of the group of players that you have, it's tough. I agree that it is tough. This is what I'll say. I think they all have touchdown upside. The issue is Hayden Hurst is just, he's been in the offense and he's been a main stable point of this offense for far longer than those two other guys. So I give him the benefit of the doubt. That's why he's ahead of both those options. In a standard scoring format, I will objectively tell you that I'd rather play Conklin and Harrison Bryant because I think technically they have higher touchdown upside in the given week. But considering we're talking about a half PPR, Hayden Hurst coming off a week where he had, 6 catches on 9 targets, it's hard to sit Hayden Hurst. I'll play him in both scenarios there. Sergio, thank you. DZ Dalla says, standard league, 1 running back and 1 flex spot. Okay. We have D Johnson, we have Swift, we have Patterson, we have Brian Robinson. Of the available options, I will play Brian Robinson as your RB. As for your potential flex spot, is it a half PPR or a full PPR? Let me actually confirm this. What did you say? It's standard scoring format. Interesting. In a standard scoring format, I'm playing Brian Robinson. I'm playing Cordero Patterson. Thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Miles Kelly says, pick 2 RBs in a flex. PPR, we have Taylor, Kenneth Walker, Cook, Najee, Pacheco, Jeff Wilson, AJ Brown, and Ayuk. Okay, of the available options you have here, Miles, I'm going to play Jonathan Taylor first and foremost, Kenneth Walker second, and I'll play AJ Brown in your flex. Thank you. Juan Angel says, who should I pick up, Zonovan Knight or James Cook? I would. Ooh, wow. That's actually a good question. I'm going to go ahead and just say let's roll with Zonovan Knight. I think Michael Carter could lose a lot of his workload if Zonovan Knight is able to pull away in the next couple weeks while Michael Carter is out. So I'll go with Zonovan Knight there. James Cook had himself a lot of utilization in that matchup. But again, it was a one-sided affair. You're running the ball a lot in those scenarios in comparison to, you know, the other kind of scenarios where they need actually a pass blocking back in the backfield rotating. But yeah, for right now, I'll lean towards Zonovan Knight in the short term. Benjamin Todd says, okay, we already took care of that. Thank you. Max Vickers says, full PPR flex, Tony Pollard or Jamal Williams. Yeah, I'll play Jamal Williams there. Thank you. Noah Haber says, pick 3, Pierce, Kamara, Walker, Pirine. I will be benching Kamara this week out of the 3. I'll play Walker, Pirine, and Pierce. Thank you. Manolo says, full PPR, pick 2, at least 1 tight end. We have Palmer, Freiermuth, Schultz, Edwards. Out of the group in a full PPR scoring format, I'm playing Schultz for sure. That's a given as the automatic tight end, no questions asked. And then if I'm playing Palmer over Gus Edwards is the follow-up. Let me actually see. What do I have in my full PPR rankings? Where's Palmer in comparison? So we have Josh Palmer at 45, and I have Gus Edwards at 48. So yeah, we'll play Josh Palmer alongside of Dalton Schultz this week there. Thank you. So then we're moving on from Manolo. Oh, you got a follow-up question. My apologies. Also, Bucks or Eagles defense? I would rather play the Bucks defense this week against Andy Dalton. I appreciate it, Manolo. Thank you. Jerry B says, morning. Standard flex, Zay Jones or Gus Edwards, 1,000% in a standard scoring format. I'm playing Gus Edwards. Joe R says, Olave or Kirk as my wide receiver 2 full PPR. I'll play Christian Kirk there. Thank you. Dilo says, good morning. Good morning to you as well. Full PPR, Christian Kirk or Christian Watson. Kirk has burnt me. Yeah, even though he has burnt you, again, it is far too advantageous of a matchup, especially going up against the Detroit Lions secondary, for me to not suggest him. So I'm still going to be on that train of thought. I'm playing Christian Kirk. If you want to play Christian Watson, by all means, I wouldn't blame you for doing so. Again, you've heard me say it on multiple occasions already this week. If I have Christian Watson, I'm starting him and I'm not even worrying about it, right? In your case, you have a better option in my mind. But if you want to play Watson, you certainly can. You're in that much of a beneficial position to where you can pivot, you know, if you would like. Charles T sends in a question. Thank you very much, Charles. Thank you. 5 PPR kick return points as well. 2 running backs, 2 flex league. Okay. So Pirine is on waivers. Interesting. We should probably go and address that. My team is Fields, Watson, Etienne, Swift, Mixon, Cordero Patterson, Kamara, White, Waddle, Higgins, DPJ, Komet, and Njoku. Would you drop any of these players to pick up Pirine this week? Okay. So considering you have Etienne, Swift, Mixon, okay, yeah, I actually would. I think it's probably in your best interest, Charles, to have Samaje Pirine on your roster. As for who I'm dropping in exchange for him, that is the question. We have to keep 2 quarterbacks in case something happens to Fields. Njoku is good to keep on roster, but we don't want to. This is actually a disastrous scenario. Assuming you don't have an IR spot to where you can swap Mixon in there when it happens, I think you have to drop David Njoku, to be honest. You're either dropping David Njoku or you're dropping Deshaun Watson. It's one of the two to get an actual, running back option that I would play alongside Etienne, right? So I'd play Etienne and Samaje as your 1 and 2. Obviously, your wide receivers 1 and 2 are Waddle and Higgins. Your 2 flex options would then fill in with guys like Cordero Patterson and Rachaad White. Thank you. Or, sorry. Yeah, is it a full PPR? Yeah, it's full PPR. It would be Kamara and White. Thank you. Eric Sanchez says, any changes to my roster? All right, Eric, let's see what you have. You have Jalen Hurts, Justin Jefferson, you have Devontae Adams, you have Chubb, you have Walker, you have Kittle, you have Cooper. I don't think we're changing anything out of this. You have Keenan Allen, Sutton, Montgomery, White, Lawrence. Anything to change here? No, you're good to go, man. Should I pick up Mike Boone, Zamir White, or Jameson Williams? Pick up Jameson Williams. I think Zamir White is probably someone that you would want to have on roster, but in your scenario, I don't think you need it. Juan Rivera says, greetings and salutations. Hope you're doing well, Juan. Search shirt merchandise pitch idea. Don't worry. Listen, I'm not the first ever human being to ever say greetings and salutations in a consecutive manner. So I'm sure there's already been t-shirts made, but hey, we're working on it. Don't worry. It's a part of the grand plan. Your question was DPJ or Antonio Gibson in a full PPR. Juan, you have access to the rankings via Patreon. But hey, if you need to hear it from the horse's mouth, so be it. Let's go over this, shall we? We have Donovan Peoples-Jones as our number 65 on the list, while we have Antonio Gibson at 70. So we're playing Donovan Peoples-Jones there. Thank you very much, Juan. Appreciate it. Pursue sends in a question. Says, pick defense: Jets, Commanders, Packers, or Steelers. Out of the group, I have the Jets ranked the highest. The second highest would be Commanders. Number 3 would be Packers. Number 4 would be Steelers. So, the Jets are the defense that I'm rolling with. Omar G says, full PPR, Swift or Sanders? I will play Sanders there this week. Chubb or JT are already playing. Yeah, okay, yeah. I'm playing Miles Sanders there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Luke Skyraptor says, pick 2, RB and a flex, full PPR, Swift, Jamal Williams, ETN, Najee Harris, Cortland Sutton. I'm playing Jamal Williams and ETN there this week. Thank you very much, Luke. Appreciate it. Sang sends in a question. Says, full PPR, Kieran Williams versus Seattle, Gus Edwards versus Denver. 1,000%. I am fully confident with Gus Edwards versus Denver this week. Thank you. Appreciate it. Michael Barton says, Zay Jones or Rachaad White in a PPR scoring format this week. In a full PPR, I'll take Zay Jones there. Let's see here. Bardia sends in a question. Where are you at, Bardia? Says, Knight or Hollins in the flex, half PPR. I'll play Zonovan Knight there. Also, any scenario where you prefer Fournette over White this week? No. In all scenarios, I would rather play White. All scoring formats. Thank you. Unless there's a scoring format where Fournette starts with an additional 10 points to begin the week. It's a joke, by the way. That's the only way I'd ever do it. Thank you. D Villa. 11 D Villa says, hey, Andrew, who do I flex this week? White or Zay Jones? Again, if it's a half PPR, I'm playing White. If it's a full PPR, I'll play Zay Jones. Thank you. Joshua Wilkins says, hope you have an awesome Sunday, Andrew. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for the content this year. Half PPR. I need a flex. Christian Watson, Jamal Williams, or Isaiah Pacheco. In a half PPR score. Yeah, it's half PPR. Perfect. Okay. Half PPR scoring format. I'm just playing Jamal Williams. The touchdown, dependency, yes, it's there. But it's also pretty much become a guarantee at this point based on matchup, based on opportunity, based on volume of opportunities in which this team has on the goal line. It is ridiculous. We're going to go ahead. We're going to play Jamal Williams. He's about 5 spots ahead of Christian Watson in my half PPR ranking, so we'll take him. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Joshua. Big B says, half PPR, pick 2, Slayton, Judy, Debo, Deontay, Knight. If Debo is active, then I want to play him. But the issue is we won't know that he's active until later this afternoon. So, considering that is your scenario, let me actually check the window. Week 13 NFL. Who else is in the afternoon window that could be a contesting option that you can pivot to? There isn't anyone. So, at this position that you're in, without knowing that Debo can... If you don't... Wow, is there literally no one that you have available that is in that pivoting option? My only question here, Big B, would be like, is DeAndre Carter available? Because I want to risk potentially playing Debo. If you're not able to, and you're not able to potentially risk it in that regard, I would then just say, hey, let's just play Slayton and Knight and let's roll with it. Because we can't wait for Debo's, active nature, whether or not he's going to be, and getting the word later in the afternoon slate. Thank you. Trey Perez, thank you very much. That's full PPR. Flex Garrett Wilson, Evans, or Sanders. Give me Garrett Wilson there. Thank you. Danny sends in a question, says Elijah Moore or Jamison Williams full PPR roster 1. If I'm rostering 1, I'd rather roster Jamison Williams rest of the season. Thank you. 11 D Villa says full PPR. By the way, White or Zay Jones. Was your first question full PPR? Yeah, your first question was White or Zay Jones. Yeah, we'll take Zay Jones there. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, D Villa. The Creto. Let's see here. The Creto. Credo, if you could do me a favor and type in the chat, be greatly appreciated, because last time you sent in a message, there wasn't anything attached to it. So if you could do me a favor, type that in. Appreciate it. Adam sends in a question, says start 2, half PPR, Terry McLaurin, Jamal Williams, Garrett Wilson. I will play Garrett Wilson and Jamal Williams in a half PPR this week, Adam, with the koala logo. Thank you. Moving on. We have Eat Powder. Says, hey Andrew, Gus the Bus or Palmer half PPR? I'll take Gus the Bus. Corey Hoover says PPR, Dameon Pierce, Treylon Burks, or Rachaad White in the flex. In a full PPR, I will take Rachaad White there. Thank you. Where's Credo? Credo, where you at, my man? Moving on. Ashley Gomez says, half PPR, 1 for the flex. We have Zay Jones, Gus Edwards, Pacheco, Lockett. Now that's a tough one because it's between Gus Edwards and Lockett at that position. And quite frankly, both of them are really good, man. I don't know, Ashley. This is going to be a tough one. Let me see here. What do I have? Half PPR. Lockett is at 34. Gus Edwards, where art thou? I think I have Gus Edwards at 41. Yeah, we're playing Tyler Lockett there against the LA Rams. So it's Lockett number 1, Gus Edwards number 2. Zay Jones will be 3 and Pacheco will be 4. Appreciate it. Thank you, Ashley. All right. Donovan Jordan says PPR. RB, pick 1. Starting Saquon already. Etienne, Knight, Pacheco. Okay, I'd play Etienne there to accompany Saquon. And then as for wide receiver, Debo or Palmer. As for Debo or Palmer, I'm playing Palmer outright. And then who do you flex? I want to flex Debo. If you get to the afternoon slate in a full PPR and Debo is available, you'd play him. Otherwise, you pivot to Pacheco. Thank you. Will Etienne be limited considering the questionable tab? I don't expect him to be. Again, Doug Peterson came out on multiple occasions and said he's perfectly good to go. Where art thou? Okay, so why so high on Gus Edwards? Again, I had a whole video dedicated to him. So if you haven't checked out the video on my channel, must starts for week 13 with Trevor Lawrence on the thumbnail. There's a timestamp in the description. You can go check out the Gus Edwards there, because I talked about him for 5 minutes. I don't have 5 minutes to divulge all the information. My apologies. Where's Credo, man? Credo, you gonna type, my man? No? Okay, Credo's gone. We're gonna keep moving. Apologies, Credo. Maybe next time. Maybe we can catch you later on in the stream. We'll see. Alrighty. We had Dan. Dan sends in a question, says full PPR sit 1. McCaffrey, Waddle, Higgins. Why do you gotta do this to me, Dan? That's my question to you. Why do you gotta do this to me? If I have to sit 1, quite frankly, I don't want to sit any of them. But if Dan, why do you got to do this to me, man? Is it a half PPR or full? It's a full PPR. I think I'm sitting. You're not gonna like the answer, but I know what my answer is. I'm sitting McCaffrey. I'm sitting McCaffrey there. I'm starting Waddle and Higgins over him in a full PPR. Thank you. VW fan 32 says Andrew. In a must-win full PPR scenario, pick 3. Alvin Kamara, Aaron Jones, Dameon Pierce, Kenneth Walker, Dylan Mostert. Of the available options, I'll take Aaron Jones. I'll take Kenneth Walker. And to close out, let me go to full PPR rankings. Where do I have Kamara in comparison to Dameon Pierce? I have Kamara there. Yeah, I have Dameon Pierce ahead of him still. Who would you drop with Samaje Perine on the wire? I would drop Mostert, and I'd play Samaje Perine over Dameon Pierce, and I'd join him with Aaron Jones and Kenneth Walker. Yeah, I would do that. I'm going Trevor over Lamar. Yeah, that's fine by me. You do what you got to do. But yeah, my suggestion, VW, would be to pick up Samaje Perine, drop Mostert, and play him over Dameon Pierce alongside Aaron Jones and Walker. Thank you, VW. Jaden Fry says, or Fire. No, it's Fry. Says start 1 PPR, half PPR. Evans, Olave, Christian Watson, 1000%. Thank you. William Zug says PPR and yak points. Yak points? What does that mean? What does that mean? Yards after the catch points or yards after contact? What does that mean? What kind of scoring format is that? You mean just regular points per yardage? I don't understand anymore. So need one: DeAndre Carter, Curtis Samuel, Cortland Sutton, and Hayden Hurst. Out of the 4 options, I'd go Cortland Sutton first, and then DeAndre Carter second. Thank you. Jason says 2 different leagues. First one, Kittle or Schultz. I'll take Kittle over Schultz. Kittle's got a fantastic matchup up against the Miami secondary. Follow-up question, Montgomery or White? I'll take Montgomery over Rachaad White. Follow-up to that, Juju or Miles Sanders. In a half PPR, I'll take Miles Sanders over Juju, but just slightly, I think. Let me see here. I have Juju Smith-Schuster ranked 45, and I have Miles Sanders ranked 36. So, yeah, in a full PPR, it's closer, but for right now, it's Kittle. It's going with Montgomery there. And quite frankly, if I had a choice, Jason, I'd feel more comfortable playing even Schultz over Juju. But yeah, for right now, you go Miles Sanders, considering those are the options you gave me. Thank you. Randon Martinez says, PPR, pick 2, P. Ryan, Keenan Allen, Godwin. Wowie. At that point, I'm playing Godwin and P. Ryan. Thank you. Vic84. Let's see what you got here, Vic. Vic84. Vic84, if you could do me a favor, type in the chat, be greatly appreciated, because I don't see any message from you, my man. Thank you very much. Let's see here. Howard Demoro in the chat was saying Swift or Kieran Williams in a half PPR flex. Howard, Swift is my suggestion. Again, for those of you who are just joining us this morning, welcome. Good morning. Week 13. Again, I know it's win to get in for many of us, so we're trying our very best to get all these questions answered. The rankings that are literally right here, guys, on screen, are up to date as of this morning in a half PPR scoring format. So if you have any questions in regards to interpositional rankings, they're on screen. If you're perhaps on the phone and on mobile because you're not home, there are rankings in the description. Everything that I've kind of done in terms of research, watching film, looking at all the injury reports, everything has come to the culmination of the rankings that are on screen. So I will default to them in all capacities. So again, do with it what you will. Again, you're the final decision maker on your team. You know, go with that gut feeling. If you prefer one player over the other, it's totally up to you. I'm just here to give you guys my suggestions and give you guys the route that I would take. Doesn't mean that it's correct. Doesn't mean that it's 100% accurate. I'm just telling you guys my opinion. You guys know how much research I do on a weekly basis. And you know I'm still always, wrong in a lot of scenarios because the unpredictable nature of fantasy football and all the variables that are, taken into account. Either way, thank you guys for joining us. If you guys have not yet already, do me a solid. Click that like button down below. It'd be greatly appreciated. It continues to allow me to bring you guys content on a daily basis. While we're here at this midsection, I do want to go ahead and talk about kicker and defensive rankings once again. Just want to mention them so that you guys are all on the same page as I. In terms of defensive rankings going into the week top 10, we have number 1 Baltimore Ravens, number 2 Dallas Cowboys, number 3 Seattle Seahawks, number 4 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 5 Cleveland Browns, number 6 Philadelphia Eagles, number 7 New York Jets, number 8 San Francisco 49ers, number 9 we have the Washington Commanders, and number 10 we have Minnesota Vikings. Moving on to the kicker side of the conversation, number 1 we have Justin Tucker of the Baltimore Ravens, number 2 we have Jason Myers of the Seattle Seahawks, number 3 we have Daniel Carlson of the Las Vegas Raiders, number 4 we have Harrison Butker of the Kansas City Chiefs. We have number 5, Brett Maher of the Dallas Cowboys. Number 6 is Evan McPherson of the Cincinnati Bengals. Number 7 is Ryan Suckup of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 8 is Cameron Dicker of the Los Angeles Chargers. Number 9 is Robbie Gould of the San Francisco 49ers. And number 10 is Graham Gano of the New York Giants. Woo! How about that, huh? Speed is on my side today. Moving on. Max sends in a question, says, start 2, Kamara, Burks, Knight, Nico Collins. Give me Kamara and Burks. Thank you. Appreciate it, Max. Moving on from Max's question, we have C. Crip says, need an RB and a flex for this week. Full PPR, we have Brian Robinson, Cordero Patterson, Lenny, we have Swift, we have Devonta Smith. In a full PPR scoring format this week, C. Crip, I'm playing Brian Robinson, and I'm playing Devonta Smith. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Moving on, we have Rockout. It says PPR, 2 running backs, 2 flex. We have Kamara, Swift, Brian Robinson, Zay Jones, Pacheco. Of the available options that you have, I would play Brian Robinson and Kamara as your RB1 and 2. I would play Zay Jones along with Swift as your flex options in a full PPR scoring format. Thank you. Moving on, we have Shahir. Thank you very much, Shahir. Says, greetings and salutations. Was wondering if I should start Gus Edwards or Tyler Lockett in a full PPR scoring format this week. I'm on the Patreon, but would love to hear your reasoning. The primary reasoning behind it is because I'm expecting Gus Edwards at a very base minimum to get himself 60 rushing yards and a rushing touchdown. So I can easily see Gus Edwards, base minimum, scoring 12 points, right? If everything goes, there's no injury, nothing of that extent. Perfect. Boom, done. Now, the difference in comparison to Tyler Lockett is that Tyler Lockett could accomplish those numbers in a full PPR without even scoring a touchdown. 6 catches for 60 yards is an easy week for Tyler Lockett. So with his touchdown upside already attached to him, scoring 4 touchdowns in the last 4 weeks, 1 individually in each of the last 4 games, it's an automatic play just to go with the receiver in that full PPR upside, especially considering how much touchdown upside he technically has and big play making ability that is associated with him. So yeah, Tyler Lockett's a safer option there. Thank you. JT says full PPR. Wide receiver St. Brown, Devonta Smith. Wait. Full PPR, wide receiver St. Brown, Devonta Smith. Okay, so those are your 2 wide receivers. Running back, JT, Swift, flex Pirine. Do I sit Swift and play Pirine at RB2 and play Zay Jones in the flex? Yes, I would. Palmer's available as well, but yes, I would prefer Zay Jones over Palmer in a full PPR. If it was my team, I would play Pirine as the RB2. I play Zay Jones in the flex. Thank you. Rockout says Cousins, Mike White, or Derek Carr. Derek Carr is my suggestion there. Thank you. Again, it's on screen. The rankings are there for you, my man. Appreciate it. What's the reasoning behind JT? I'm worried about Colts shutting down completely. What makes you think they're going to shut down this week of all the weeks? Again, if you guys haven't heard my reasoning on a lot of these players, there's a reason why I post those ranking videos throughout the week. I talk about players for a minute each, right? There's a reason why they're 40 long minute episodes. So if you guys need reasoning, that will probably cover it. Thank you. Denial says PPR bench 1. Olave, Sanders, Pierce, or Christian Watson. If I'm sitting one in a full PPR scoring format, it's Dameon Pierce. I'd rather play Olave, Watson, and Sanders. Thank you. Gutsy FR says, full PPR, I'm down bad. I mean, listen, dude, you don't got to tell me that you're down bad. Zeke, okay, pick 2, Zeke, Pollard, Devonta Smith. In a full PPR scoring format, as much as I like Devonta Smith, I think it's probably in your best interest to start both of the Cowboys running backs and send it, my man. Thank you. Lock Screen Gaming, hope you're doing well. Thank you. It says full PPR, White or ETN? ETN foot problem, question mark? Again, I'm not concerned about the ETN situation. From everything that I've heard from the interview, from the head coach himself, ETN should be good to go. No problems, no limitations. If you guys want to worry about it, you're more than welcome to. I, on the other hand, have no concerns on the matter. James says half PPR, Jeff Wilson or Josh Palmer. I will play Josh Palmer over Jeff Wilson in a half PPR there. Thank you very much, James. James Wingond. Weingond? I don't even know how to pronounce that. I'm going to stop. Thank you. Moving on. Spaceborn. Or Space Bjorn, actually. Space Bjorn. How about that? Debo or Judy? I'd like to play Debo. You have to have a pivoting option, though, if in fact he's not active in the afternoon slate, because we know that they play in different times. Thank you. Moving on. We had a question that came in from Christian Alvarez. Says, sent the question, didn't work. Great content, by the way. Wait, what? Where's your question? Wait, I don't understand. Your donation said that. Where's? Oh, no. Oh, no, Christian. What have you done? Oh, no. Christian, what have you done, my man? Not like this. Yeah, I don't know where your question is, my man. You're going to have to type it again because it's just not in the chat. ETN or Knight? I'm playing ETN, guys. Is that even a question? Hopefully you're not asking me, because there's no way you can see the rankings on screen and we get that question, right? Caesar in the chat, I would play Gus Edwards over Jeff Wilson. Again, like it says on screen, guys. Pollard or Pirine? Yeah, I'm playing Pirine, like it says on screen. Even in a full PPR, it doesn't really make a difference, even from half to full. Pirine even gets more, receiving utilization than normal running backs, because, the offense itself is more equipped to throw the ball to the running back position, or wants to do that more often than a lot of other teams. Charles R. says, why Ayuk over Olave and Pittman? Mainly because of the limitations of Deebo Samuel. And because Michael Pittman Jr. has to deal with the one and only Trayvon Diggs. Olave's been inconsistent. That's the reason why he sits where he is. So yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Phil sends in a question. Phil, I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Says start 2 running backs. Mixon, Kamara, Elliott, Dameon Pierce. I'm playing Elliott and Dameon Pierce there, to be honest. Thank you. Josh Rowe says full PPR. I need one Jeff Wilson, Swift, Jamal Williams, Pittman. If I'm playing one out of the 4 options, I'm playing Jamal Williams. Thank you. Mike Nas says Rachaad White, Kamara, Perine, Lockett, PPR, pick one. I'm playing Perine as the one out of the group. Thank you. Chris Rosado says start one, PPR, half PPR, David Montgomery, Gus Edwards. Between the two, I'd much rather play David Montgomery against Green Bay's defense that is, quite frankly, non-existent in terms of stopping the run. As for your follow-up, Jimmy G or Gino, I'll play Gino against the Rams that are going straight to the bottom of the leaderboard in terms of win-to-loss record. Moving on, we had a question that came in from Joel Garza. Garza, where is your question, my man? Garza. Is there a question in the chat? There it is. Full PPR, I need one wide receiver and a flex. We have Jamal Williams, Donovan Peoples-Jones, Rachaad White, Zonovan Knight, Zay Jones, or Michael Pittman Jr. So if we need one wide receiver and one flex, the flex is going to be Jamal Williams, and the wide receiver out of the group of players that you've mentioned in a full PPR scoring format is probably still going to be Michael Pittman Jr. there. Yeah, it's going to be Michael Pittman. So it'll be Michael Pittman and Jamal Williams in regards to what I'm doing in that position. Outside of that, what was your follow-up there? Gus Edwards and Pacheco are on the wire. Yeah, you don't need them. You already have Jamal Williams. You're fine. Thank you. Good to go. Alrighty. After that, we had Sticky Spits says, full PPR Swift or Deontay Johnson? I'd rather play DeAndre Swift this week. Thank you. Justin says Zay Jones or Kamara full PPR. I'll take Zay Jones. Billington Bosman says Najee Harris, Juju, Pacheco, or Rachaad White PPR pick one. In a full PPR scoring format, I'd rather play Juju Smith-Schuster over the gang. Jay sends in a question, says half PPR pick two. Sutton, Judy, Hunt, Duvernay. We count return yards. Interesting. Pierce and or Isaiah Likely. You count return yards, huh? Let's see what Devin Duvernay's doing, because he's not catching the ball. And he probably gets pulled coverage from, one of those two stud cornerbacks of, what's their name? The Denver Broncos. So I'm not too interested in his receiving game work. Return yardage, don't like it either. So in this current scenario, based on what you have on roster, I would suggest playing Courtland Sutton and Kareem Hunt. Jay, thank you. Vic84, did you end up okay, your question was, good morning, Andrew. Full PPR, start one, wide receiver, one flex, Debo, Thielen, ETN. Okay, so of the available you have there, Debo, Thielen, ETN. If I'm starting one wide receiver, one flex, when does the Minnesota Vikings play? Week 13 NFL. Where is the slate here? Minnesota doesn't. They play in the morning, right? Yeah, they do. They play it in 30 minutes here. So with that being the current scenario, my suggestion here, Vic84, would be to play Thielen and ETN, and then as for Cousins and Watson, again, like it says on screen, I'm willing to risk it with Watson this week over Kirk Cousins. So I'm going to risk it there. You don't have to. You can play Kirk Cousins and you can stack them with Thielen and you're good to go. And there's no questions asked. They're next to each other in the rankings. I don't think Watson's that much more of a significantly higher upside player. Be Grateful sends in a question, says, what's up, brother? Jeff Wilson against San Francisco or Bam Knight in the flex option? I would rather play Jeff Wilson. I know that Jeff Wilson is going to get a bulk majority of the touches. Bam Knight could be splitting in that three-headed monster position there. And I know Jeff Wilson's also going to dominate the receiving work, while we'll probably see Ty Johnson be the receiving prominent back in that Jets backfield. Thank you. Sam Castillo says, rank these three: Pickens, Judy, Pacheco, full PPR. In a full PPR scoring format, I would go Pickens number 1, Pacheco number 2, Judy number 3. Thank you. 818 Raider says, full PPR, ETN or Cook. In a full PPR scoring format, I'd rather play Dalvin Cook this week. Thank you. Let's see here. Alex Apking, hope you're doing well, Alex. Thank you. Says, Kenneth Walker, Barkley, Henry. I need an RB2 and a flex. Of this three, I already played Stevenson. Barkley, Henry faced brutal defenses, full PPR. Okay, so if I have to play two out of the three that you mentioned, Walker, Barkley, or Henry, I'm playing Henry and Walker over Barkley. I'm benching Barkley this week. It is what it is. Jay says playing Lamar versus the number 2 Denver. I don't understand what that means. Jimmy G versus 30th ranked Miami. Yeah, I'm still playing Lamar. The difference between Lamar and Jimmy G, if you were playing in a 6-point per passing touchdown format, I'd entertain the conversation regarding Jimmy G. But considering it's not the case, again, Lamar's coming off a week where he had 14 rushing attempts for 89 rushing yards. The upside that is entailed with the rushing upside there, it is just the fantasy point contribution and stability that you'll get from Lamar. It's stable enough to where I'm pretty convinced on the matter. Edgar says Najee Harris or Jeff Wilson, assuming Najee's even active. Can someone do me a favor and go out there and look and see if Najee's even moving and shaking out there? Could we get some updates as to whether or not he's even going? Nate Perry says Mark Andrews or Christian Watson, half PPR. I play Christian Watson there. I probably interesting one, huh? No, I'm gonna play. Man, there's a lot of tight ends there. I probably still play Mark Andrews, but it's gonna hurt. It'll probably hurt there. Zach Knight was saying, where did you say the full PPR rankings are? They are via Patreon. There's a link down in the description. If you're interested, you can support there. Half PPR, full PPR rankings at a max capacity are there. Top 60 running backs, top 32 top 32 quarterbacks, top 80 wide receivers, top 100 plus flex. Kicker defense rankings are available. Tight end rankings at top 25 capacity are also there. If you're interested, they're all available on Patreon for those of you who sign up and support there. Thank you. Alrighty, Corey sends in a question, says Swift or Jeff Wilson this week in a full PPR. In a full PPR, I think I'd probably go with Swift there. King Marcelo says PPR, Debo or DPJ / Pacheco. I would much rather play Debo or DPJ over Pacheco. It's a matter of who's healthy. At this point, you probably just play DPJ considering we don't have a pivoting No, you know what? Scratch that. Let's do it differently. Let's try to play Debo. If he's active, you play him. Otherwise, you pivot to Pacheco. Sergio Soto says, on flex, should I start Mike Evans or Travis Etienne? I go Etienne. DJ 22, sorry. DJ, hope you're doing well. You've been a long-time viewer of the channel, my man. Long-time supporter. I appreciate that, DJ. Says, please help. I knew you were coming in with a troll question. For once, I thought you were going to actually have a real question, but again, with another one of these ones. Grossman, Campbell, or Brunell, huh? How about that? Which Campbell are we talking about? Is this Josh Campbell? You guys remember Josh Campbell back in the day? Former Raiders and Washington quarterback? Guy was actually not bad. KJ, I mean, he wasn't great, but he wasn't bad either. For fantasy purposes, I remember back in the day having the starting Josh Campbell. I don't know if you guys remember those days, but I do. KJ says Christian Watson, Debo Samuel, Robinson Jr., full PPR, flex 1. I'm assuming that's Brian Robinson. It's a full PPR. I play Christian Watson there, KJ. Thank you. R. Ramirez says full PPR. Ayuk, Wilson, Palmer. I play Garrett Wilson there. R. Ramirez. Thank you. Rusty Wright says half PPR. Ayuk or Rashad White. In a half PPR, this is what I will say. If we get to the afternoon slate today, Rusty, and Debo Samuel is officially inactive, you would play Ayuk there. Otherwise, you wait till Monday and you play Rashad White. Thank you. Sam Dunn says, Etienne, Quan, Pirine, full PPR, start 2. Keep it up. I'm playing Etienne and Pirine there. Thank you. Sheldon says, Gus Edwards or Rashad White, half PPR. I'd much rather play Gus Edwards. Again, updated rankings on screen have it as Gus Edwards ahead of Rashad White. Neil in the chat was saying Dallas defense or Ravens defense this week. I have Ravens number 1, Dallas number 2. Thank you. Where are we at? Sheldon sends in a question. Oh yeah, we already did Sheldon's question. We just did it. My bad. Did we do Sam Dunn? We did Sam Dunn. Okay, Anthony C says pick 2. Christian Watson, Amari Cooper, DK Metcalf, and Chris Olave. In a full PPR, if I'm picking 2 of those 4 options, I'm picking Amari Cooper number 1 and DK Metcalf number 2. Thank you. Also, I'm playing catch-up from Diggs on Thursday. Yep, I'm still playing Amari Cooper and DK there. Thank you. Saud Bukhari, thank you very much, says, flex 1, PPR, point per first down as well. Jamal Williams, Pacheco, Knight, Dillon, Rashad White. Yeah, I'm still going to play Jamal Williams there. Thank you. Salvador Espinoza says, Pacheco or Olave in a half PPR scoring format. Pirine over both if Mixon is out. Pirine over both if Mixon is out. You can wait until the afternoon window to figure it out. If Mixon somehow plays, okay, at that position, you would then pivot to playing Pacheco over Olave this week. Thank you. Joe P says, Rachaad White or Zay Jones in the flex? Rachaad White in a half PPR, Zay Jones in a full PPR. Follow-up question to that was Pirine or Kamara? I'd rather play Pirine. Thank you. Spinal Samurai says, PPR, Lockett or Dalton Schultz this week? Whew, let's see what we have Dalton Schultz ranked in comparison. Schultz. So I have Dalton Schultz at 39. I have Lockett at 36. So I'm going Lockett there. Thank you. But they're close, man. Dalton Schultz is a really high-ranked player. Jeremy Young says, Fournette is back. Kind of concerned. Based on matchups, full PPR, would you consider flex Kieran Williams, Pacheco, or Swift over Rachaad White? Would I consider any of them over Rachaad White in a full PPR? No. The one that I would feel foremost confident with, if I had to start one over Rachaad White in a full PPR, would be Swift. And I would hope he scores a touchdown. But outside of that, I'm not really looking to make any move there. Saud Bakari says, half PPR, pick one, Knight, Swift, Kieran. Out of those three, I'd play DeAndre Swift. Thank you. Jay says, my league is 6 point per passing touchdown format, Lamar or Jimmy. I said I'd consider it as a potential option. I didn't say I would suggest it. I'm still playing Lamar there, my man. If you want to play Jimmy, you absolutely can. You're good to go there. Albert says, full PPR, Rachaad White, Devonta Smith. We have Chris Olave start 2. I'd rather play Rachaad White and Devonta Smith there. I would sit Mr. Olave this week. Chingon sends in a question, says, I need help for the flex. We need Palmer, Sutton, Pacheco, Gus, or Swift. I'm playing Gus there. I'm going to play Gus there out of the available options. Thank you. Venom Tick says, half PPR, start 3, Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, Mike Evans, Chris Olave, Deebo Samuel. Okay. Here's my suggestion, Venom. Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, without a doubt, number 1 and 2. You wait until Monday. If, in fact, Marshawn Lattimore is active, you bench Mike Evans, you play Chris Olave. Vice versa. If Marshawn Lattimore is inactive, you play Mike Evans. Don't worry about Deebo this week. Thank you. Alex Nava says full PPR. Flex, Gus Edwards, Devonta Smith, or Cordero Patterson. As of this moment, I'm fairly certain I have, let me see here, Devonta Smith. Devonta Smith is 40. I'm pretty sure Gus Edwards is what, 40? Where the heck is Gus? Miles Sanders, 48. Yeah. Devonta Smith is my suggestion out of the group there. It's kind of the same argument that I made earlier with Tyler Lockett, right? Devonta Smith, 6 catches, 60 yards is in the realm of possibility. He scores a touchdown. He's not going to be caught by Gus Edwards unless Gus Edwards goes for a career day. Thank you. Enemies Within says PPR, Olave, McLaurin, Gibson, return yards included. I would still play McLaurin out of the group. Thank you. How many yards did Gibson have in terms of return? Antonio Gibson's stats. Let's see what Pro Football Reference had in terms of his return yardage last week. Kick return yards. He had 51 yards last week, 48 the week prior. Holy crap. That actually makes a huge difference. That's a touchdown practically. 68, 41. Wait a minute. If he's active and he's doing kick returns today, hold up. Wait a minute. I'm going to still take Terry McLaurin, but you got to tell me how high of a score is Gibson on an off week where he doesn't actually play well because of those return yards. I'm assuming even last week, right? 32 rushing yards, 22 receiving yards. In a full PPR, he'd get about 5, 10, 12 points on a bad week. Like, that's pretty good. I'm still playing McLaurin, but that's pretty damn good. Wow. All right, follow-up question. We had Flo Easy, who said Sanders, Edwards, or Murray. Sanders, number 1. Edwards, number 2. Murray, number 3. VW fan says, full PPR, Ayuk over Evans, AK over Rachaad White. No, I'd play Rachaad White over AK this week. It's crazy, but yeah, I mean, Alvin Kamara is not in a trustable enough position based on his recent production, recent opportunities in terms of the running game. 3 out of the last 4 games he's participated in, he's had less than 10 rushing attempts. He's not getting enough targets, especially in the red zone, which typically has saved his seasons. And especially earlier this season, that big performance he had, a lot of targets. Just really haven't seen that as of late. So Unfortunately, we're going to have to play Rachaad White over him. Miles Hakeem says, Zay Jones or Pacheco full PPR? I'd go with Zay Jones there this week. Thank you. XD's 4325 says Miles Sanders or Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson, half or full PPR, doesn't matter. Frank Grillo says Devonta Smith or Zay Jones in the flex. I'd go Devonta Smith there. Please explain while you have some time. Yeah, I'll do it in a second. Walter Gregg says half PPR, Miles Sanders or Christian Watson. I'm fairly certain, like I was talking about earlier. Maybe I need to confirm this. Where do I have Miles Sanders? In a half PPR, right? It was a half PPR question? Half PPR. I have Miles Sanders at 36, and I had Christian Watson at 31. So I'm playing Christian Watson there this week. As for the question after that, Brian Mills, I need one half PPR, Antonio Gibson or DeAndre Carter. I'll take Antonio Gibson there. Okay, so as for your question in terms of Zay Jones, Devonta Smith, I think as much of an attention grabber as Miles Sanders is out of the backfield, Jalen Hurts in terms of the running game, and A.J. Brown in the revenge game, it'll open up so much. It does by itself. Opens up so much opportunity for Devonta Smith as an alternative receiving option in that offense that is going to pull number 2 cornerback coverage in a secondary that is awful to get himself double-digit targets in this given week, especially when everyone's focused on let's probably stop, AJ Brown from completely ruining us this week. So I think there's a lot of arguments to be made in regards to the potential there in which Devonta Smith can garner just as much, if not more targets than Zay Jones this week and have a pretty big week there. Hunts says, full PPR start 2, Jamal Williams, Zonovan Knight, DeAndre Swift. I'll play both of the Detroit running backs. Give me Jamal Williams and Swift. Isaiah Gonzalez says Mike White or Jared Goff. I'll take Mike White there. Thank you very much. Ferris says Swift or Kamara. I'll take Kamara in a full PPR. Thank you. Rusty Wright says, I forgot I got Edwards as well. Play him over Ayuk / Rachaad White. Let me see here. Let me go back up to your question, Rusty, to remind myself as to your scoring format. Half PPR, yeah, I play Gus Edwards over both of them. So yes, I would. Thank you. Okay. Theoretically, I've caught up. Never mind, I haven't. Michael Recor says Slayton, Burks, or Hasty in the flex. I'd play Treylon Burks in the flex. They're half PPR. And Zay Jones, Pittman Jr., DPJ, or Kamara in the following other flex. It's a different league, I'm assuming. If it's also half PPR, I'd play Kamara there. TD says no Jacobs. TD says Jacobs a go for today? ? No backup plan. Yeah, he's gonna play. I wouldn't stress it, my man. I wouldn't stress it. Alrighty, let's see. Do you feel comfortable starting Christian McCaffrey over Kenneth Walker with Christian McCaffrey's injury history? What? You mean just the injury from last week? Is that what you're referring to? Yeah, I feel comfortable with it. Again, if you have Kenneth Walker, just start him. Like, there's no point of you stressing about it. Just play the guy that you want, right? Andrew, I have been here for an hour. Please read my messages. If you had typed a question there, you would have had it answered. Just type it in the chat. I'm here. Start Aaron Jones or ETN? Aaron Jones. Again, he's higher ranked on my screen. Nelson says full PPR, Gus Edwards, Swift, or Pacheco. I'd play Gus Edwards out of the group. Jamal Williams or Pirine? I'd play Pirine. Zeke, Kirk, or Godwin in a standard scoring format. In a standard scoring format, I'm playing Zeke. Swift or Pickens in a PPR? Pickens. Carr or Lamar? I go Lamar. Lamar was good last week. I don't know what you're talking about, Raider. Ayuk or Brian Robinson? I play Brian Robinson. Let's hear Akeem. Akeem, where does that question go, my man? Akeem was saying, that's Hakeem. No, I need Akeem. Akeem, did you even type a question in? I don't think you did. Yeah, Akeem, if you could type in the chat, we greatly appreciate it. Shane Howard says full PPR, DK or Watson? I'll take DK over Watson in a full PPR. Kittles or Andrews? I'll take Andrews. Also, I know Rodgers might play. Do you still like... No, Rodgers is for sure going to play. Do I still like Watson over Lazard? If the last 3 weeks of production hasn't convinced you already, then I can't convince you, man. Watson's 1,000% to play there. Absolutely, without a doubt. Alex Nava says full PPR. Pick a quarterback, Fields or Lamar? Fields. Pick a running back, Gus Edwards, Pacheco, P. Ryan. Also pick a wide receiver, Pickens or Sutton. Pickens. Soy Sergio 7 says, hola Andrew. Full PPR, flex, Pollard, Evans, Christian Watson, or Burks. In a full PPR, give me Christian Watson there. Thank you. Speaking of Christian sends in a question, says Chris Olave or Christian Watson. Give me Chris Watson. Moving on. Where the heck is Akeem? Akeem, where are you at, my man? No Akeem? Aki? Where's Akeem? No? I don't see Akeem. Okay, moving on. Speaking of Miles Hakeem, okay, says please do defensive rankings before noon games. Yeah, let's do defensive rankings. Number 1, Baltimore Ravens. Number 2, Dallas Cowboys. Number 3, Seattle Seahawks. Number 4, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Number 5, Cleveland Browns. Number 6, we have the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 7, New York Jets. Number 8, San Francisco 49ers. Number 9, Washington Commanders. Number 10, Minnesota Vikings. Those are the defensive rankings for this week. Thank you. Top 10. Thank you. For the remaining defenses. Evans or Pollard? Play Pollard there, Donnie. Juju, Slayton, or AJ Dillon? Play Juju there. Solution. Good name. Palmer or Pierce in the flex PPR? Play Palmer there, Nova. Cousins or Zay Jones in the Superflex? Play Cousins. Murray, Williams, or Warren? Pick 2. No Mixon. Murray, Williams, Warren. Williams and Warren. Let's see here. Where are we at? Sutton or Pacheco, PPR? It's probably safer to play Sutton there. Just off the yardage and reception game alone. Assuming Pacheco doesn't score. Ben sends in a question. Says flex 1. 1 running back. Full PPR. Rachaad White. Pickens. Brian Robinson. Swift. I play Brian Robinson and Rachaad White there. Thank you. Juan says start Bam Knight or Christian Watson at the flex. Christian Watson. Akeem Farrow says PPR, Rachaad White or Deebo Samuel. I play Rachaad White. Thank you. Marcos Rivera says Cordero Patterson or Brian Robinson Jr. or Deebo Samuel PPR flex. I'm playing Brian Robinson there. Thank you. It's an incredible matchup against the Giants. And, of course, we have a little bit more of a limited nature of Antonio Gibson potentially this week. Williams or Wilson? If you're playing in a full PPR, I play Garrett Wilson there. Otherwise, half PPR, Ethan, it's probably safe to just roll with Garrett. To roll with Jamal Williams. Kaiser says, Andrew, bro, pick 3. Chris Olave, Swift, Evans, Gus Edwards, Palmer, Zay Jones, full PPR. In a pick 3 scenario, it's Palmer, Zay Jones, and Gus Edwards there. Thank you. Gus, Paris Campbell, or Judy? I'm playing Gus there. Cook or Walker? Walker there, Caleb. Thank you. Lockett or Zay Jones? Raymond, I'm playing Lockett. Mike Evans or Damian Pierce? I play Damian Pierce here. Thomas, Michael, Ryan, Zimmerman. Interesting long name, huh? Ali says Pacheco or Rachaad White. I'd go Rachaad White in a PPR. Garrett Wilson or Olave? Art Funaj. I would play Garrett Wilson. Shorty McPeasy or Sporty McPeasy says, would it do high point of view? I agree 100%. Okay. Interesting. I don't know what that was. Half PPR, Evans or Zonovan McKnight. I'd probably lean towards Zonovan. We had a question come in from R. Ramirez. Says full PPR, Wilson or Ayuk. Give me Wilson. Chad Jackson said Samaje Perine or Cooper. That's actually a really good one. I have to think about that for a second here. I think Man, that's a tough one. I probably play Amari Cooper there. Yeah. Trev McCarthy says, Superflex, Mariota, Juju, or Pickens? Give me Mariota. Michael Ortiz says, hey, Andrew, love the show. Am I trusting Watson over Geno? No. I play Geno Smith over Watson like it says on screen. And need one flex, DPJ, Pittman, Cordero Patterson, or Rachaad White. If you're in a half PPR, I'd play White. If you're in a full PPR, I'd play Michael Pittman. Thank you. Dale Derrick, thank you very much. Says full PPR. Lamar, Geno, White. I'll take Lamar there. Hear me out. I see your rankings. Lamar hasn't been good in a while for fantasy. He was good last week, 23 fantasy points. At the beginning of the season, I'm worried about his performance being underwhelming. Listen, you don't have to convince me. You got to convince yourself, Dale. Like, I know you want the confirmation bias from me, but I can't give it to you. I'm not going to be able to pick, Geno or Mike White over Lamar. I just can't. It's not in my blood. It's not in my nature, and it's not in the research that I've done this week. So I'd much rather play Lamar If you want to play the other guys, by all means, you're the GM of your team. You're the final decision maker. Make that poignant decision at the end. Boom, put the stamp on the week, and let's hope for the best. With Mixon out, Gus Edwards or Knight. Thanks, brother. Alvin, I'd go with Gus Edwards there. Why are you that low on Mike Evans? In a half PPR scoring format in the last 4 years, he has scored one game of over 10 fantasy points against Marshawn Lattimore. Marshawn Lattimore should be returning from his injury this week. Andrew, you look like Dr. Egg from Sonic. Is his name Dr. Egg, or is it what's the name from what's the back? Isn't it? I don't know. What's his name? Yeah, Dr. Robotnik. What do you call him, Dr. Egg? I mean, he's technically quote-unquote Eggman, but Dr. Robotnik. Yeah, I'll take that. I don't mind that. Ronald Blair says, Andrew, why are you ranking Fields over Lamar and Lawrence? Because others are ranking them above Fields. Who are others? You want my opinion, right? Like, it's just a matter of, like, I don't care what others do. Fields has a significantly higher upside, right? I don't know what we've seen over the last month plus here, but all I've seen is legendary performances from what Fields is doing on a weekly basis, right? So in the case of, in comparison, Lamar and Lawrence, it's easy for me. Like, if the guy by himself could, without a doubt, score 15 fantasy points from rushing statistics alone, 100 rushing yards, a rushing touchdown, and then gets himself working through the receiving game or passing game where it's like 150 passing yards, 1 to 2 passing touchdowns, no one's going to catch him. He's probably lower. He should probably be higher ranked on my list. I'm just being cautious. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Where are we at here? Moving on. Taysom Hill or Conklin? I played Tyler Conklin this week. Pirine or Pollard? Yes, I would play Pirine over Pollard. Where are we at? Okay, we had a couple more questions come in here. Jeff Miller says, hey, Andrew, start 2, PPR, half PPR, Najee, Devonta Smith, Josh Palmer. I played Devonta Smith and Najee. Thank you. Laylo says, ETN or Garrett Wilson in a PPR. I played Garrett Wilson there. VW fan says, I thought Marshawn Lattimore was out this week. I haven't gotten any confirmation on that. Rob says, says White, Burks, Sutton. I played Rachaad White over the bunch. I think there was a question in from Distilled. Yeah, Distilled. Let's see. Control F. Distilled I. I don't see a question from you in the chat. If you could do me a favor and type that in, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thank you. Where are we at here? Kaiser, I answered your question already. It's Gus, Palmer, and Zay Jones. Watson or Godwin? It's Godwin, 1000%. Watson or Brady? Brady. Fournette or Rachaad White? White. Saquon or Montgomery? Saquon. I know that the Giants' offense line's bad. I know, but I just have to have Saquon in that capacity. Juju over Pacheco there, Brandon. ER says, should I have Butker? Sorry. Should I have Burks or Jameson Williams on the bench? I'd rather bench Jameson Williams this week. Oh, you mean for the rest of the season? I'd rather have Burks. Thank you, Master. I appreciate it. Charles R says, drop Bills or Eagles to pick up the Chiefs next week. Yeah, let's drop the Eagles next week to make that happen. It's Fields starting? Yes. He's 100% starting. Can I play both Pollard and Zeke? Yes, you can. Absolutely. And lastly, Godwin, McLaurin, Brian Robinson. Godwin is my suggestion there. Thomas, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Trev McCarthy says, Rachaad White, Pacheco, Boyd, Campbell, Judy. I'm playing Rachaad White there. Thank you. Chaos Bolt says, been watching from the beginning, full PPR. Can only pick one, Jeff Wilson Jr., Gus Edwards, Juju, or Mike Evans. In a full PPR, I'll take Juju there. Cade Elliott says, full PPR, Kamara or Patterson or White. In a full PPR, I'll take Rachaad White there. Teddy H says, Juju, Terry, Gus Edwards, full PPR. I'll take Terry McLaurin there. Thank you. Fournette or Rachaad White? It's Rachaad White still, guys. Like it says on screen. DPJ or Lazard? I'll take DPJ. Cousins or Tom? I'll take Tom Brady. Fournette or White? Again. Answers that again. Boom, boom, boom. We're good to go. Alrighty. I think that's it, guys. It's 10 a.m. I appreciate y'all coming through. Where the heck did Distilled go? Distilled, you here? No? Distilled didn't have a question. I appreciate it, though. It's game time. Good luck, everybody. Hopefully, week 13 goes better than we anticipate. Any news on Lattimore? Any playing or not? Crypt, as of this moment, he was limited all week at practice. There isn't a full designation because he plays on Monday. So we won't know until tomorrow. Anyway, thank you guys. I appreciate y'all coming through. For those of you guys who sent in super chats, I greatly appreciate you. For those of you who just came in, clicked the like button, and just were a normal viewer, I appreciate you just as much, man. You guys coming out here and spending time asking questions, knowing that just frankly it may not be answered, is still appreciated. I mean, you guys allow me to continue to do this on a weekly basis. I can't thank you guys enough. Hopefully, I was able to answer your question by proxy of another question. We'll see. What is this? Okay. I don't know what you guys are on about in the chat. Anyway, I'm going to close the chat. I'm just going to look into the camera. Again, good luck this weekend, guys. Tomorrow we'll be back with some waiver wire, figuring out. I guess we'll figure that out when we get there. But at this moment, it's all up to the fantasy gods. Let's hope for the best. We'll keep an eye on what the heck is going on in the scenarios. But as of right now, we're ready to go. Thank you, guys. And until next time, we're cueing the music. I'm bowing out. And I appreciate y'all. Tomorrow, waiver wire video and live stream. See you guys. Peace.